Hello and welcome to another episode of Britballin. I'm your host, Mike, obviously. Tonight we're going into the deep realms of predicting our future, and I'm joined by our lovely angel of the north, as always. Adam, how are we doing?
I am good, mate. I'm very good. How are you?
Yeah, you good? Yeah, I'm good. I'm excited for tonight. We've got a couple of guests on tonight, and we're gonna make sure that we're predicting our future tonight, aren't we?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm really taken aback because I've just seen your intro page, and after 4 weeks, I think, of using it, I've found a spelling mistake. So I was really annoyed with it. I've just ran in. I was like, I need to take it off, and then you took it off. So happy days.
How are you doing anyway?
Good, mate. Good. First week back at training on Sunday, so
yeah,
all fun and games, mate.
All fun and games. So tonight we're gonna predict the Britball season, aren't we? So everyone who's tuning in, make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that usual crap. And we're going to do a little plug before we get going tonight. So obviously we want to know, we want everyone to, as much as possible, join in with us next week. So we talked about at the end of last week's show, but as of Tuesday next week, Tuesday the 22nd, me and Adam are going to go live for 24 hours straight. We're going to do a stream for 24 hours for charity. So we're going to do a range of different things, a range of different guests, a Christmas special. We're going to do a Christmas quiz. Obviously, we understand people can't stay with us for 24 hours, but the more people can.
Are they not staying with us as well?
Oh, yeah. So these three are now actually, they don't know that, but they're now locked in for next week for 24 hours straight.
Yeah, they're just staying for the full 24, aren't they?
Yeah, that's it. So tonight we're going to do some predictions. So the first, obviously, we're going to go through every division in the adult senior league, and then some quick roundup at the end of under 19s, under 18s, 16s. Sorry, youth football and junior football is easy to say. And we're going to go some predictions on that level. So, as always,
British football, mate. The whole.
I know, yeah. That's it. So, well, that's where it all starts. We've done enough about that on this show already.
It should start there. No, it shouldn't start at university. It should start there. That's where it should start.
Right. Bloody hell. Are you doing a plug again?
I am. So, if you're in the northeast area.
Right, let's get them on. Get them on. Come on, Adam.
All right, I'll get them on. I'm doing the clicks. I'm doing the clicks.
We are surrounded by guests. How are we doing, guys? You okay?
Yeah, great. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Yeah, good. So it'll make it easy if we're at the bottom, as we usually are at. So from left to right at the top there, do you want to give me guys a quick introduction? Firstly, thanks so much for joining us on the show and looking into the future with us. Chris, do you want to go first?
Chris Peel. I'm sure I'm known by many of the viewers being a journeyman of football and a faux arrogant man. But I'm here. I'm finally made it, guys. I'm finally on Britballin podcast. So
our number one fan. We're making dreams become reality. That's what we do. This is our Christmas present to Chris.
Yeah, well, I thought it was part of a Make-A-Wish Foundation, but either way,
Charities next week, Matt.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chris. So yeah, Chris has been on more teams than not dinners. So we thought if we're covering the whole of Britball, we knew Chris would know enough to know to get us through those deep dark divisions where we might not know enough about.
Chris,
then we've got our
list your teams, Chris. Go on.
Oh my God! This honestly, to include
usually I
know, but if he misses one, imagine the shit he's gonna get.
Do I need to pull up my Excel spreadsheet? It's got them all listed down. started off at Loughborough Aces, now Loughborough University football team. Also did Uniball, did Bradford Bears, helped set that team up, got that one going. We did Tamworth, Doncaster, Yorkshire, Leeds Bobcats, Sydney Uni Lions, Western Crusaders over in Melbourne. Fuck, I'm missing some. There was like 3 Northern All-Star representative teams, GB Bulldogs, GB Lions, the United States, United Kingdom Fighting Cockerels, or the use of Cocks changed to the Griffins.
The Cocks. You played for a team called the Cocks.
It was Jason Scott's team. That was Jason Scott.
Oh no, great team!
There we go.
Great team.
Yeah. Fantastic travelling team. It was like the Barbarians. It was fantastic. Yeah. We went to Amsterdam. Great times had by all.
And hopefully a new team this year, no mention. So we'll move on, and then we move on to our lovely contingency up north, where the north-south divide is. Sam,
yeah,
thanks for joining us, bud. How are you doing?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah.
My CV is not as impressive as Chris's. Like,
You have a better accent. You have a better
possibly better accent. To be fair, if you can understand what I'm saying. So yeah, I'm the under-16s head coach for Edinburgh Napier Knights. Former Edinburgh Napier University player, former East Kilbride player, and now Edinburgh Wolves player. At the moment, although my 2 days before the first snap of the season I could take for the Wolves, we got punted into lockdown, so I've not actually taken the field for them yet, but looking forward to it when it rolls around. So yeah, definitely a very much shorter resume, but happy to be
shorter resume. But you got Scotland. You got Scotland covered for us. That's what we tried to do.
Well, I don't know who Wilkin had on before me, but we messaged me at 5:05 saying, "Do you fancy it?" There's definitely been a dropout. Yeah,
Spoonie was busy.
Spoonie was busy. Spoonie was busy. Pretty much every other better.
He told her to piss off. He says he doesn't want nothing to do with her.
Yeah, exactly. It's just
big time now. He said he's Basker and he don't want anything to do with a minute show like ours. So yeah, that's just so we was getting the barrels, mate. But cheers for joining us, Sam.
Appreciate it.
And James, a friendly face with Britball. How you doing, man?
I am good, Mike. It's great to be here. Just from Gridiron Hub, just for the writing style, and apparently the South aficionado, even though I know nothing about the South.
You know what it is, right? He's here for the South today just because he's wrote about them and he knows the team. Whereas realistically,
James is here to help us pronounce the names down south.
Yeah,
and to shed some light. So James is our guy.
Yeah.
No pressure here, James. By the way, bud.
Oh yeah. I only know about 2 teams down there, but it's okay.
So we might have to judge some of the South ones by nights out and various different things. So we'll try and do our best as possible. But we are going to go through each individual conference and division. Again, thanks all guys for joining us and everyone watching. So we're going to start down in the South just whilst we can. So we're going to go Div 2 up to Prem, guys. So we're going to try and we'll have a quick snapshot of the division if we know a little bit about it. If we don't, we're just going to go straight into what we call we'll have a winners. So who we believe is going to win the conference. Might be just based on the name. Who we believe will lose the conference and get the Youri spoon. So yes, this is a bent spoon because we're predicting, and then obviously it will be winners will just be winners and grinners. Well, obviously we have got our mystic ball on us tonight, so let's switch that on.
And also, I'd like to point out for everyone that received, so every team that received a photo of me on Instagram dressed as Mystic Meg, that was Mike. Mike sent that. So yeah, he sent us a photo after.
So our mystic ball is live. That means, guys, we can now teleport into the future. So the first question I've got for you all, let's address the actual elephant in the room and not just me. Will there be a 2021 season? Mr. Peel, you first.
I feel like there's going to be one. Like my gut is saying that there's probably going to be one. If it's going to be delayed or not, I think that's the question. I don't think it will be cancelled. I think we're going to be starting to get back into things about April, May. I'm not sure if that means that the season will be cancelled or if it'll be delayed and then it'll impact on the uni season or something like that. Well, what do you think? Does that sound reasonable?
I think that sounds reasonable. I think there's got to be a season out there. We can't not have a season. I mean, the crystal ball, I'm looking into it, and it is telling me there's going to be a season. So it's no longer a debate. So, guys, thanks. We do hate COVID-19. Sam, what's your thought? Season or no season in this Christmas season?
I think it'll be a formatted season. I don't think you're going to get a true Prem North, Prem South scenario. I think you're going to get a geographical mix of teams playing each other locally depending on the restrictions, because I don't think the tiers are going to go away. I think things like under 16 and stuff will go off without a cinch because it's that younger sort of age and they want to get them into sport and keep everything as normal. But if you're talking about, Edinburgh to Tamworth and the buses and the service stops in between, I don't know if that's going to be a logistical possibility for teams.
Pulling out the Tamworth game, isn't he? Look at him.
I've just got. They're busy for that Tamworth game.
My first Tamworth away game ended up with heat strokes, sitting in the showers as a Scotsman, getting killed in Birmingham heat.
Looking like a drumstick.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I don't think you're going to get the true season. I think they're just going to realign everything and just get games off as such to keep guys going. I think we'll still get to play.
James, thoughts?
Yeah, I think kind of the same as Sam. I mean, it really depends if the Scottish want to reopen their borders. That'd be nice to get some games played. But then it's when you go to Primark, it's almost like a Britball match.
Just to quickly interrupt you, the wall has been knocked down for years. It's just around the corner. I can go and show you. It's not there anymore. Just walk across the border these days, man.
Yeah.
The sandwich van, actually, right in between with a Scotland flag and an England flag.
I get on one side and then fish and chips on the other, right?
No, what it is on your breakfast you get black pudding on one side, and on the other side you don't. That's just the only difference. But James, do you think we will realistically?
I think it'll be a short season, not a proper one.
Short season. Can somebody Google as well whether having this next to me will have a monster impact on my health, please? I don't be watching it with this for 2 hours there, however long it'll go on for.
I think you'll be fine, Mike. I think you'll be fine. Trust me, I don't think
it'll be as bad as having the turtle sat next to you.
Don't talk about Essa. She's a diamond.
Should they change the name again?
No, it's Essie is short for SEO chart, which is famous rolled R tortoise, which is tortoise backwards.
Oh,
with it. So it's clever. We have brains down here, Adam. You won't understand. We read things called books.
Mike, one thing to consider with the season as well is the RFU are gearing up now to get back into things. They're introducing contact, or they already have.
Yeah, but the money and employees in the RFU, though, that's why it can all kind of go off with that sense. They have full-time everything and a lot of even local clubs to get stuff off.
Yeah, but you've got to think about it. They come up with all of the rules, and then we just copy, paste, change rugby to American football, and hit send. So it's, you know what I mean?
Sports do. A lot of sports do that.
Volleyball as well. Volleyball do it. A lot of people copy off volleyball and things like that. So I think
BAFRA have said that as well. They've said that they're following the RFU. So
to be fair, I mean, I did a degree like that, so I don't know why anyone would change.
Nah, to be fair, from my opinion, I don't see why we won't be playing a season. Especially at youth and junior, anyways. That's all I'm really bothered about. I mean, in Sunderland University.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So let's get into it. We've got our crystal ball. Let's get into the future. So we're all agreed there's going to be some sort of season, but let's just say I've had a look into the future, guys. It's optimistic. Boris just couldn't care less. He's gone bald at this point. He's lost the will to live, and he just goes, guys, fuck it, do what you want. So here we go. Season is back on as normal. Let's pretend it's on as normal. Thanks, Boris. You are an absolute ledge. Let's play some Britball. Right, so first on the clock, we're going to go.
I can't believe you just said that on this show, but never mind. We'll let it slide.
What have I said?
You said Boris is a ledge on this show.
There's nothing wrong with Boris. He's a lovely man. Oh. He's got a wife and kids. He takes a shit like you and I.
Except when he takes a shit, he leans forward and shits out of his mouth. But never mind. We'll carry on.
So let's get into it. So we're going to go a little seamless transition into the BAFANL SFC2 West. Give us a zoom.
Give us a zoom in.
A zoom.
Yeah. Give us a little zoom.
There we go. So we've got, as you can see, thank you, Gridiron Hub, for having this all on your website. It's really useful because apparently BAFA don't. I mean, it's a nice logo, but get this on your website, BAFA, please.
We don't you mention the logo.
We don't.
Is it not just a knockoff of Bristol Pride?
No BAFA bashing. Leave that to X's and O's. So we've got here Torby Trojans, Cornwall Monarchs, Bristol Apache, Somerset. I'm not even going to try and pronounce the second part there. Wyvern. So, Adam, I'm going to lean to you because I'm pretty sure you used to play for Torby, didn't you?
I did, mate. I did. Trojans for life, man.
So you can kick us off here. Anything about the division that's worth sharing with the wider Britball community? Anyone in the comments, by the way, if we're absolutely fecking this up and you want to comment and share best practice, then feel free to.
So a game between Torby and Cornwall when I was there first started off being called the Pasty Bowl.
Nice. That
And
makes this division really good.
so basically, when that happened, the guy Brian Smallworth was head coach of the Sharks at the time. They were called, now the Monarchs. He would bring out like a giant pasty because the Sharks used to win all the time. And they'd all eat this pasty at the end of the game, and they'd have a trophy. And then a couple of years ago, when the Trojans absolutely battered them, no pasty in sight. So
And that's a disappointing day for Britball. No pasties.
I know. So yes, there's a bit of hatred in there, but for me, there's only one winner of that division.
So you going Torby? Anyone?
No.
Any advances? Anyone's going to disagree with Adam predicting Torby to win that division?
I did not predict Toby to win that division.
Thanks, Adam, for predicting that. Anyone else? Anyone got an advantage on Torby winning division?
It would be between them and Bristol, because Bristol Apache is just it's the second team of the Aztecs, isn't it? So
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
it's
you've got to
definitely
think that.
between them two.
Yeah, you've got to think at some point they'd be.
It's not between them two.
I think Cornwall's the dark horse.
Yeah.
They're in tier 1. They've been able to practice. They're being good boys. They're all staying apart, keeping the COVID infections down.
Got a lot of players back from that left to go play elsewhere during the last season or so of the Sharks, from what I've been told, which has affected obviously teams around them. So Somerset, cracking youth setup. They've put it out there. Kids get to play for free.
Yeah.
Big shout out to them for that. I think realistically, for me to win it, honestly, Bristol's there. And then I think this year, because I know how things have affected Torbay, as much as I hate this, I think Torbay is finishing 4th in that division. I'm sorry. Don't hate us. Don't kick us off your page for saying how proud of you all of us. But that is like, that's where I'm going.
6-2 last season. How can they finish last? I can't get behind that.
Right. There is two places in this country where the season before makes absolutely no sense. The Southwest is one of them because players go all over the place. And you can merge the Northeast and Scotland together. Like, players can hop ship constantly. Like,
So this is last year's standard. So Torby, if it was just left to these, Worcester Black Knights don't appear to be, or they even be realigned, or they're not there, but appears to be Torby, based on last year's figures, would be the out and out winners there. The South Wales Warriors, I'm assuming, going up.
Yeah, they won it all last year, did they not?
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, if I'm like, I highlight anything Torbay post I want to see. I'm there commenting constantly. I always share the stuff. I seen the practice that they had this week, and there's about 7 guys there.
Oh, that's an early December practice. You can't judge a team off that.
You're saying that's an early December practice. When I played there in December, I got sunburnt, mate. It's not like it's cold and it's raining. It's absolutely boiling down there, mate. There's no issue. Like, for me, that's like a big red flag for me.
So, who we're giving the spoon to? Who's losing? Who's bottom here?
Adam's not convinced me here. I'm still saying Torbay are going to finish top of the table. That's the way I'm thinking.
I'm taking Torby as well.
I would love that. I would love that, considering my son still lives down there. But
right, so Torby's top. So we're taking that. Judge rules on that one. James will give you wild card. Who do you think's wild card here?
Like I said, I think Cornwall.
Cornwall, the wild card. Ben, who have you got going bottom based on what you've heard here? Sam, sorry, not Ben.
I was going to say my name's not Ben. Purely because I know nothing about them, other than they've got a youth team, Somerset. I literally know nothing else about them. I've heard of the other ones. Cornwall have obviously gone on. Cornwall have obviously gone into the rebrand. Bristol's the second team of the Aztecs, and then obviously Torbay were good last year. I just don't know anything about Somerset, so I'll have to say them.
So a little thing that you haven't picked up on: Torbay, a new head coach this year, new quarterbacks in place, new offensive scheme, new defensive scheme. For me, I think it's going to be too much in a COVID year to do anything. Like, as much as I would love it, and I honestly, I deeply mean this, I would love them to batter every team in that division 100 to zip.
You sound like Kevin Keegan.
I'd love it if we beat the Wolves.
the
No, but I just don't see it happening this year.
Cool. Right, we're going to move up. Dun, 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 to the Baffinel SF. I mean, they're well named, these divisions, aren't they? SFC 2 South. So, my favourite named football team, Jurassic Coast Raptors, London Blitz B, Hastings Conquerors. Are they the ones who folded or not?
Yeah, they've gone
by Hastings.
So they're going to come last. I'm calling
they're
that
going to
now.
come last. Yeah. Berkshire Renegades and Swindon Storm. I'm hoping somebody has some sort of insight into any of these teams other than Jurassic Coast Raptors have an excellent name.
Am I going again here, am I?
The Blitz
As long
B,
as you know.
right?
Blitz B's good.
You've got Aaron is QB, Aaron Butler, ex Torbay Trojans quarterback. I think he's still there now. Got a few other good lads from around the area playing for them.
Can Blitz B get promoted?
Yes, then get promoted one division.
Right, okay.
Again, though, you've got Swindon Storm, always a good team. Bobcats, good side. I think Bobcats came down, didn't they, if I remember rightly? Or was it Swindon? Anyways, one of the two the year before. Berkshire.
I think it's Berkshire who might have came down by the looks of things, or at least realigned.
If that's the case, then yeah, so I know they're a decent side. The Renegades have got quite a good setup in place, but for me, that's probably one of the harder ones to call.
I think Blitz B are going to win that just because they get so many of the younger guys going up into there. I think Blitz B run away with it, don't they?
Blitz B are going to go 6-0.
Well, look at the results last year. Look how much Blitz B put up last year in comparison to the rest of that division.
333-point differential. So, yeah, we'll lock Blitz B in for the win. We'll let Adam. You can choose a wild card from the rest of them.
Swindon Storm.
Swindon Storm. We finished. I think they were 4-14 last year. And then Peel, who are you giving the Euro spoon to? A wooden spoon, as it were.
That's who's coming last. So which team's not in it? Is that Hastings who's not in it?
Hastings have been Harry Potter, yeah.
So Jurassic Coast Raptors, then I imagine they're going to come last.
Good choice.
Raptors. See you later.
Just because I know that there's a lot of memes about them, so like
they've been realigned from Torbay's division, though, haven't they?
All right. Mm-hmm. So I mean, excellent name.
The Southwest, the division with Torbay and Cornwall and things in, is a very much run the ball down your throat sort of division. There's not really many.
Because passing is not really an option when you can't do that.
Well, yeah, you say that, but then obviously now the Blitz B quarterback was the Torbay's old quarterback, but it just seems like coaches down there like running the ball on that nice hard service and just pound it down people's throats.
Cool. Right, let's switch up. We're going to go into the SFC2 East. A lot of southern divisions. So we've got Norwich Devils, Colchester Gladiators, Ipswich Cardinals, East Essex Sabres, East Kent Mavericks, and Maidstone Pumas. Maidstone Pumas, have they gone as well now? Or?
Yeah.
They've gone, but then they've just announced today that they've got a senior team, but it'll be in the associate process, so they won't be in.
So there's another thing that we need to consider with this as well, because Bath has got that new rule where you need 35 people registered by February to be able to compete in the league. So a lot of these Div 2 teams are going to be folding. Well, maybe not a lot, but there's some that are, the teams that are struggling to get like 19 or 20 people to practice, or as many as 30 to game days. They're not going to be able to get those 35 people registered. So should we be saying, oh, this team's not going to exist?
But I think there's going to be a lot of leeway on that. They've already come out with the youth ones as well and emailed us and said we're pretty flexible on the number at the moment. So I don't know if it will definitely be enforced this year.
They need to back that policy, because what happens in Britball, if you don't like what's going on, you just start a new team, start a splinter team. So you've got teams splintering off splinter teams. So back that policy. If they can't have 35 people, sorry, you're out. It only affects Div 2 teams. It's bad if there's not a local team, if there's not a team where people can't get to. But if there is, it's better to have fewer teams that are doing better and have got better structure, better committees behind them, better coaching structures than to have loads of teams in a small catchment area.
What does numbers make? Sorry for interrupting, but does numbers make it? Because if you look at, I know it's not senior ball, but if you look at Carnegie, they took 22 lads and won a national championship, or I think got close. So it's one of those things. Would you rather have 35 people on a roster when 15 or 20 are going to turn up, or 25 who are going to be week in, week out?
I don't know how you can answer that question, considering you're Titans, you've got 4,000 players playing for you.
Well, I have played for other teams, Adam.
I think Carnegie's a perfect example, though, because if you look at Carnegie, then that's not Carnegie, is it? It's the Yorkshire Academy, and they've got the Yorkshire Rams, they've got Carnegie, they've got the other Leeds uni team, they've got a youth setup, they've got flag in, I can't remember what they're called, there's a flag team as well, but there's six different setups under that Yorkshire Rams umbrella, so it's about sharing resources and being able to do stuff, and that goes to show if you don't have the numbers but you've got the resources, you can build a successful program.
I'd say that came off the back of the Assassin, that CAF team who went to the national final. Yeah. And then the Yorkshire Rams, because that was bubbling about for years. Even when I was playing for the Rams, that was bubbling about. But I think that came about at that point afterwards. But I suppose to the point, if we keep to the 35, to answer the question, would you rather have 35 in and out players or 22 dedicated players? Anyone?
22 dedicated. It's about
quarter. Yeah.
But that then surely
an ethos.
I just want to clarify this comment quickly. I didn't say northeast of Scotland. I said northeast and Scotland. So me, this side of the wall. I was on about, us guys as well.
Yeah, I remember when I allowed to that
getting hate already off the brains. Jeez.
So let's get back to the division then, guys. In this one in particular, Maidstone Pumas, they've gone. So the only one I kind of know of there is Ipswich Cardinals. So let's have a look at last year's record from them ones. It might give us a bit of guide as to what we think. Essex Spartans were out and out winners, 8-0, not to lose a game. Norwich 6-1 and 1, so a draw with East Essex Sabres, which is weird. Ipswich Cardinals 4-2, and then we've got the rest of the teams losing. Maidstone have now gone. Any thoughts on who we're predicting the winner? Do we just think Essex Spartans, White Wall again?
No.
Essex are good. They've got youth and junior setups in there as well. But to be fair, Norwich aren't that old a team, are they not?
Yeah,
they're pretty new. And they seem that from when I saw them going through the associate process, their social media is really good. They look like they recruit well.
They do, yeah.
They've been voted to have the best pitch and things like that as well.
Yeah,
I like Norwich.
They've picked up a lot, and to kind of be sitting second, when you're such a young club, it's pretty decent. I'd probably say Norwich.
And the Spartans have been promoted as well, haven't they?
Yes. I'm assuming so, yeah.
Yes, you are right, yeah. So
I would definitely say Norwich there then.
Yeah, Norwich. I don't think Norwich will lose a game in that division.
I think Colchester have been relegated then, haven't they? Is that right? Yeah. So Colchester's a name I recognise, so that will be good because I'm assuming they'll still have some Div 1 level players, and a new team who's been relegated wants to bounce right back up again, don't they? Ipswich seem to be consistent on there as well, don't they?
Ipswich had the controversy a few days ago.
Yeah.
Which was?
I believe there was pictures of kitted players and non-kitted players practicing.
Oh, yeah, saw that.
Yeah. We're there. Shall we do this now then? Please don't put players in kit against players that aren't in kit. It's very naughty. Stop it.
I mean, you don't learn much at level 1 basket coaching, but from what I understand, it keep people alive by not putting kit against kit against unkit. I think that's pretty much it, isn't it?
I think I was wrong as well. Someone's commented saying that they had a youth and junior set up for a while. No, I was just meaning the senior team looked fairly new.
They haven't, mate. It's fine.
All right.
Okay, David, thanks for that. That's why we need loyal fans helping out. And if you're lucky, David, you could make a wish and be on the show just like Chris. No, yeah. I mean, one of the reasons we're doing the 24-hour show next week is to raise money for obviously what happened in the HGL and the family to dispute that. So I don't want to go into too much about that. But yeah, really important message, and we can laugh about it. But I think if that would have happened in Britball, I think one of the things that's been proven is that we get behind that as opposed to anything. So I think, testament to the Britball community for helping raise funds, Gridiron Hub for writing really good content about that, James.
Well done, James, mate. Well done.
It's all me.
Jim
It's all
and
me.
Steve and all that. No, but there's a lot of people involved with that. But I think it's really important, and that's why we're going out to raise money for that next week. So if you're watching the show and you want to, donate £2, £3, £5, £10 if you flush 50 quid, go and do it. It's all for a good cause. And Adam will put a comment on now with the link in it. Seeing that bit of management there, guys.
I'll do it at the end. I'm not doing it now. I'll
See
post
back
it
to
at the top of the comments when
There
we
you go.
finish. There you go.
So I think. Go on with someone.
I was going to say, see back to your comment on the minimum numbers. It'll also just be interesting to see what comes out with the governance docs that everyone was obviously required to do. And there was a lot of kick-off about people having constitutions, bank accounts in the name of the club, not, the head coach's name or the blah, blah, blah's name. It'll be interesting because they were pretty blunt about that. Like, if it's not up, you're not in. So it'll be interesting to see what teams, not even Div 2, just to see who has their sort of house in order and who's actually allowed to compete if we're allowed to.
Yeah, no, definitely. They should be just.
Oh, this happens to Mike all the time if he freezes, by the way. Has he just froze for everyone else in like a really weird pose?
Yeah, he's gone. He's gone.
It's too many northern people in the wind.
Oh, is he back? There we go. You just put a pound in the meter, son.
I'm back. There we go. It's just my crystal ball was going off, so I just had to Back to the Future effort to make sure it's all right. So as we get our new wave of viewers, don't forget we are obviously on the crystal ball. It was going to be a bit of a migraine, but we've looked into the future, everyone who's watching, and we know there's going to be a 2020 season, so we're just running through what that 2021 season will look like. So thanks very much for joining us, our new viewers.
We know in 2021, Mike is actually going to get a new microphone and a stand. You won't be able to hear things getting cleaned in the kitchen. And and apparently Mike's leaving and going to Tamworth. That's an exclusive.
Congrats on the promotion there, Mike.
No, he's not. Sorry.
No, I'm just waiting for my house to be finished, and then once all that will be then fixed in my new house. So, but thanks again, Adam, for being a general dick. So yeah, pound in the meter. I don't really know what that is. Is that a northeast thing, Adam? Is that?
It's a general thing that, like, if you're lucky, stick a pound in the meter. Yeah.
No idea.
Did you never have those tellies as a kid that you used to have to put a pound in the back?
No, I just.
We did. Like when your parents can't afford to buy a telly, you used to like rent it, and you used to have to put a pound in to carry on watching.
Rent a telly?
Yeah.
No,
Google it. I'm telling you now, you blow your mind.
No thanks.
That's why we bought Labour, right?
Right, where is it? 1 minute. Sorry, guys. Rule 101. Marketing. Stay politically biased.
No.
Thanks, Dan. We can pull that up on every show now.
No.
So we back to this. So not Norwich Devils. We think are just about going to win it. We're probably the wild card being Colchester Gladiators. Are we spooning East Kent again?
No.
Kent finished last time, or Essex Sabres?
I think they both finish on the same record with a tie.
So I think when you've got a team in East Essex, I mean, I'm not geographically sure how big Essex is, but one team's just been promoted to Div 1. I'm assuming any decent player from there is going to go to the other team. Usually kind of what happens, isn't it?
I mean, it's pretty big.
Yeah. Well, you've got London. There's about 28 million teams there, aren't there? So I think you're going to lose naturally some players there, aren't you?
Did you see the news from the Olympians today, by the way?
Yeah. I posted it.
Yeah, go on then, James. Tell me then. You posted it. Come on.
Well, they've got a bit of Rod Woodson as their official ambassador. I'm not quite sure what that means, but it was in a statement.
He made a video as well. Did you see? He said their name in a video.
Yeah, he got him in the Twitter bio as well.
Yeah.
Oh. I know you can pay for those little videos where you can get celebrities to do he's
been doing like clinics and stuff for them as well, hasn't he? Like coaching clinics and things online. It's good news. Well done, Olympians. That's
well done. Yeah, well done, London. Yeah, we're just always right. So we're going to move to NFC. Yes, we're moving up the country now. NFC to South So let's go to our actual this year. So we'll see who's been promoted. So we've got Birmingham Bulls, Northants, Ouse Valley, Hereford Stampede, and Worcestershire Black Knights. So I'm assuming this is more like a Midlands, or so it's an SFC2 Central Division. A bit more Midlands. Or James, you are our expert in this because that's your neck of the country, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, that's me. Well, I'm actually in Tamworth, so when we get to Tamworth Phoenix, that's perfect. But yeah, Birmingham Bulls, they might be all right, might not. Birmingham.
It's a Bulls, man. They're going to be fine.
Yeah,
they've got some very good standout players, though, aren't they? Because I only know from our personal experience from the podcast, like a couple of, I don't know, you've got to have some minerals. So a couple of Birmingham Bulls lads actually nominated each other and themselves for our all-star team. So you've got some caliber of skill there. And I'm assuming Birmingham being close to Birmingham Lions, I don't know, maybe there's got to be something there. I know the quarterback's very good.
When you've got a page on Facebook that's dedicated for British American football that constantly plugs your things, so like us, obviously, yeah, we fill you with Titans and Gated stuff constantly. As much as we try not to, it happens. But then you've got UK American football scene, which is like all Bulls and all Norwich. Like, I think it's class. They should be getting players coming out with their eyeballs. You know what I mean? Like, I think Birmingham's going to be a cracking setup like they used to be. Birmingham used to be the Dogs Danglies back in the day, if you remember. So
yeah,
I'd like to see it back like that.
The problem with that, though, Adam, is like they wouldn't adjust with the times, and they pissed a lot of people off, and it created Tamworth Phoenix. Like that was an offshoot of the Birmingham Bulls.
No, I get that, but I still think the name carries weight, doesn't it?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, it's synonymous with like a hard hitting old school type of football. But if you look at the points differential from last year, 295 for 13 against over 8 games. Bloody hell, that is that traits of a good defense there. So
it's just going to be hard to turn that around, isn't it? Yeah, it's a massive difference for any team like Lincolnshire. Yeah, I know they've changed divisions there as well. They seem to have been in a slightly different. They seem to have been aligned more now to a central division. It appears.
I think especially in Div 2, getting a, I think it's harder to get an offense to work in Div 2 than it is to get a defense. And if you're already there with the defense, if you've already got that, the Birmingham Bulls should be looking at shutting teams out. So I can't see them dropping many, if any, games.
I'll tell you what, they're one of the few teams that I actually want to go and see them play a game this season. Because obviously that defense, I want to see what they're doing. Because they played some decent teams last year, or teams that I would think is a half decent side, and for them to hardly concede at all, like I would definitely go and watch a Bulls game this year.
I don't know, and this is not me downtrodden them, but that's not a stacked division that they played in last year.
Bombers and Surge are two cracking teams, two well-run teams. I think they are. I think they're both well-run.
Yeah, I suppose 13 points it must be good, or they just had better players.
They're well-run and well-coached. Bombers, you've got Tex there as head coach. Cracking coach, by the way. He does a lot with the youth football, or he did. His son was a cracking player for the Bombers back in a few years ago when I first started up. Got people that played for the Vikings a few years ago, a lad called Ben, and he's a good stud D-line player, but he played running back. Whenever I speak to him, he tells us how he hurdled someone this year. This is a guy that should never be hurdling people.
I just think Birmingham. I think that team was just in that division from last year had better players and would have relied on that, and that's why they just I think that's why it would have been that easy. I think Staffordshire, they're just that constant Div 2 okay team. Don't ever seem to have that next step of elite push, maybe due to location. Lincolnshire, I assume the same. Whereas Birmingham, I would class them as a Div 1 type team. So I think that's why I wouldn't say that they're going to be scheming up anything unbelievable on defense. I might be wrong, but I think
I'd like to see them
better players. Yeah, definitely.
It is something I would like to see.
I'm going to put my name on this. I'm going to say Birmingham going undefeated.
Yeah, I'll join you on that. I mean, it's a different division. I know Ouse Valley. I've always a bit of a tricky team, aren't they, to play against, and always seem to have a decent offense and sexy kit.
Is it bad that I like the look of the Knights as well, by the way? Like,
It's not bad.
they're a new team.
Spencer's made a good point. It's 3 new teams, and the U's bounce around, and the Bulls are pretty steady. So I agree with that wholeheartedly. But the thing about having a new team in Div 2 or having a new head coach, but more with a new team, if those teams have got momentum, I'm thinking especially here of like the Scunthorpe Alphas, if they've got momentum, right, they're going to leapfrog through Div 2 because they haven't got the bad attitudes and the bad habits that people picked up.
Look at the Goliaths last year from Scotland.
Yeah, definitely.
They were like they didn't even finish top of their division, and then when they got to playoffs, they were in that run, and they just destroyed people all the way through and got themselves promoted. They're a team that I'm going to like to see this year as well. I want to see that big, heavy run game.
Has anyone got any disagreements to Birmingham probably sweeping that or at least winning that division, like Spencer said there? Ouse Valley potentially being that kind of wild card team, probably the only one that might challenge. We can't really say much on the.
I think the Knights, after seeing a few of their pre-season stuff last year and their they had like scrimmages and things and the 3 games or whatever it was to get into the league. I know a few of the coaches down there. And I think they're my little wild card team for this one.
James, would it go to you for your wild card team in this one?
I don't know where Ouse Valley is. Can anyone enlighten me?
They're the team that's got the stupid wing things on the uniform.
I've seen them,
yeah, I know the
Oregon
ones.
Ducks.
Yeah, put Ouse Valley as the wild card. Go on.
Wild card, yeah, cool. Let's slightly move up then. So it seems that this is, for me, potentially, this is a
Stampede beat Torbay and Somerset last season. That is correct. You did beat them in a friendly last season when they had a game a day before, but it's fine. Let's carry on.
I think this might be the worst division of football for me.
Yeah, my God, this I'm putting my prediction for this is this division's going to fold, and some of these teams are going to end up in other divisions. This team's not competing. The Surge will stay. The other three,
the Surge will win this division because the other 3 won't put up a fight. I can't. It's hard to see. I don't know. I mean, I've been down to a Morecambe Bay training session to help out, so I really like the guys there. They've got great coaches. Crew, again, they always seem to have decent enough players and can, I feel like they get decent enough players and then they lose them. Furness it's pretty much just Carlisle Sentinels, isn't it? Which have proverbially been a pretty dire team, unfortunately.
Carlisle Sentinels or the Kestrels or whatever they're calling themselves this year.
One of these teams. One of these teams wouldn't play my offense, and I'm still angry about it. I can't remember which one though. But we beat them 66-0 first time round, and they wouldn't come and play us again.
Do you know what it is, right? Morecambe, when they first joined the league, were actually a decent side. I thought they had the momentum and things to go forward. Like they were a very decent side.
Yeah, I've spoken to some of the coaches when we've been up there, and they just struggle structurally. There's not enough people getting involved in the club and really propelling it. They just need more people to be hands on. They've got passionate people, but there's
a nice little ground, if I remember rightly, where they play at as well. It's like you drive in off a little lane, and you've got a pitch on one side, and you've got like a clubhouse and things on the other side. And it's a nice little place to play.
Dan said in the chat, it's the Furness Phantoms. Yeah, they're folding. They're folding. They're gone.
They kind of, the Morecambe Bay, like I said, they reached out to me last year, the year before, to go and help out one of their guys. He was a bigger guy who was playing offensive line. And they said, can you come up and help? So they've obviously got that willingness to want to learn. I did an O-line and D-line session for them. So they really want to do well. And I still, if any of them ever, like last year, a couple of them will send me their tape and I'll speak to them. So they do want to do well. I agree. I think it's just the structure thing with Aaron.
So if they fold now, it's your fault.
No, geographical location. Yeah, if they fold, then it's definitely my fault. Yeah. So I'm going to spoon. I'll take this one. I'm going to spoon Furness. I think you're done, guys. Wooden spoon for you. Morecambe Bay could get a bit wild. Maybe if they get a couple of things together, and then surge to the top and win that one. Any gripes with that?
No, I'm good with that.
Good with that one. Right, so NFC 2 East. So a few more familiar faces here. Leeds Bobcats. So Chris will know these very well. Not only Raiders, Lincolnshire Bombers, Humber Warhawks, and the old Donny Mustangs. What a fall for them that's been, hasn't it?
When I was playing for them, we were in the Premiership in the quarterfinals. We were beat Tamworth.
I don't think you mentioned Doncaster on your team list before.
Oh,
Forget them. I actually played quarterback for them as well. So I had
I played quarterback last season. It's nothing to be proud of, right?
Well, my one and done. One game started quarterback because Graham Lightfoot was ejected and couldn't play, and the other lad was having a baby, I think. So it was like, right, someone needs to go play quarterback. We won the game. Everyone went home and had a great time. I'm not going to go more details into that, but how many or anything like that. But we won. That's important. But yeah, they're fallen from grace since those days.
Definitely.
I think that's the reason why, mate. I had you a quarterback for a point.
I used to put because Doncaster used to be probably one of the best teams in the Prem North, didn't they? They really did they've won.
We were class. We had the best running back that Britball's ever seen. So
you're not hearing these words come out of my mouth, by the way. Don't even care.
So Leeds Bobcats, Nottingham Raiders, Lincolnshire Bombers, Humber Warhawks, and Doncaster Mustangs. So Nottingham's just outside of Leeds, isn't it? So, and I think that's a lot of the Leeds Yorkshire lads have gone over to play there. So
Nottingham's not going to raise 35.
You don't think?
No.
That's what I mean. This is all like kind of if there is 35, if there isn't. So apparently from Spencer, Doncaster have had a massive recruitment and picked some experienced players. I think actually Spencer's going to play for them. I think.
Oh really?
I don't know. Did I see that on his Facebook? You'll have to let us know, Spencer, if you are. Shorehand Spence would be a good recruit for them. So I mean, I've never been their biggest fans, but I think Bobcats should win this one.
They're very lucky that it's been restructured and the Scunthorpe Alphas are out of this now because Scunthorpe Alphas would have taken it by storm. But Bobcats haven't got a coaching staff. They're losing a lot of the best players, so it's going to be a completely new look Bobcats. So I don't know.
I want to know what Bombers are going to be like with the Alphas being there now, because obviously they're not far apart. Do you know what I mean? Realistically,
that's the problem when you get these teams setting up all over.
Alphas are going to take a hit on Bombers and the Warhawks.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Are the Warhawks going to be able to field a team?
Don't know. The more and more I listen to this, then if Spencer's going over to Doncaster, and knowing Spencer, he won't be going over to Spencer's played for 20-something years. He's an absolute class receiver and does the job. I can't imagine he'd be going over to a not a very good organisation, if I'll be honest. I trust that if that statement's true and picked up some experienced players, including himself, I actually fancy that with what's been said, then I fancy Donny to win this one.
Well, people talk as well in the community. Like I know from experience that it's like you start getting phone calls. It's like, well, I might come and play for you. Who else have you got? And it's got like we've got this, and this. It's right. I'm in. And all of a sudden, you get this critical mass of people who are interested in playing together, and it doesn't matter where they are, but they'll all go and play for somewhere. It's like with Doncaster, like we had. So it was back in the day, but we had all the boys from the Northern All Stars from the Uni Ball, but it was a lot of the Newcastle University guys, and we'd all played and had beers and stuff together, and it was like we were all around Yorkshire. Let's get these huge mobile linemen all playing together. Me at running back, hitting up behind them. We didn't have a playbook, by the way. We were in. Our offense didn't have a playbook, and we got to the playoffs of the Premiership.
It's the most Britball thing I've ever heard in my life.
It was a pleasure playing with those guys. Just aggressive, large, fast-moving O-line, and then just me smashing up behind them at where ace.
I mean, after hearing the news of them dropping their youth team and just putting them out on the limb, I'll not even mention the name. So, Wooden Spoon or Bendy Spoon, whatever it is for me, like
Yuri Spoon.
Yuri Spoon. There it is.
You're giving Yuri done it.
If Spencer and others are at Doncaster, then they've got more Now's experience and football knowledge than probably the rest of the teams put together. So I reckon Doncaster will walk it two teams, including Nottingham, are gonna fail, and the other two will limp through to the next season.
Good point. Any justification?
I'll stop being nice to them again if they get back with a youth system. But till then, sorry.
Fair enough. I like
It's the future. It's the future. Come on.
Future. Don't ignore it. Right. So we'll swiftly move on to then up top. And you know what? I'm just going to hand this over to Sam. Sam, it's all you.
Oh, mate.
I love how you've handed it over to Sam and my team's in it.
I know. His team's in it. He's just like, nah, fuck it.
Oh, it's starting to go north. I'm getting a nosebleed now. So I'm out.
To be fair, I think it's Hunters or Senators to lose. Like, because if Hunters still have because Hunters have two quarterbacks, don't they? They have one boy that they motion out to receiver who's just an athlete that they put back there, and then they have seem to have an actual quarterback as well, rather than just an athlete that takes off. Yeah. They don't have that many guys, though. It's back to that 35-man roster thing. Like, Hunters will regularly field consistently like 25 guys, but they're a good 25. A couple of Napier boys that I played with are down there now, and they say it's really, really good and it's really well run, just of where they are. I think they've picked up a couple of boys from Carlisle as well since they've kind of gone. But no, I think that's Dumfries really to lose with Gateshead right behind. I think Kings are going to be dead last, based on their associate process. They didn't put up many points offensively, and they're just over the water from us.
I felt bad for. So we trained yesterday, and I put some videos on the team's Instagram of our guys training. And one of the boys from the Kings message saying, "I'm really nervous about playing against you guys now, but looking forward to it." And I commented back saying, "Oh, that's our under-16s team, mate." I was like, sorry. I was like, the videos with our under-16s. I get it. Like, our guys are like 6'4" and 6'5" and stuff. But
carved from mountains, man. Like, I've seen your boys. Like, but to be fair, like, Kings have for a Div 2 team, like, they get loads of support from the local council. They have a class venue. Like, they train on like a really plush 3G flood lip and out of a sports complex thing. Like, they're probably the best set up out of all those teams. In terms of venue and facility, I've been in your stadium. In terms of venue and like facilities, they're pretty set up. Like, they've got access to gyms and everything. Like, the Dulux Sports Centre really puts money into them. I think it's Hunters to lose.
I've got a question here because I remember playing Gateshead and I remember them being quite a tough, hard-hitting team. Why did they go 0-10 and get demoted? What happened?
Honestly, we had a lot of injuries last year, a lot of serious injuries. We ended up being down to 0 quarterbacks at one point. We had a lot of guys missing off offensive line, off defensive line. It just wasn't the right season. We had 2 bad recruiting years.
Did you lose coaches?
No.
It reads like you've lost coaches.
No, we've lost 1 coach in the last 5 years. One of our new quarterbacks has just commented on the thing there, by the way. But we lost 1 coach, a very influential coach, Davey Wilson. He was one of the youth and junior team coaches at the time. He moved up to senior. Obviously, then I came over, took over the academy program, brought that in, and then family life took over. I couldn't get the time off. And realistically, everyone knows what they get with Gateshead. They know that you're going to get that power football. They're going to try and run it down your throat. We haven't really had a guy that's going to air the ball out in a long time. It's just what happens up here.
My favourite team to play against Gateshead. I think we played you guys a couple of years ago when we was in Div 2, and I think I played 1 tech and just stood in the 2-point stance for the whole game because it was just, I think you run like a weird double wing. So I think I made like 15, 16 tackles that game. I just moved from side to side because I've seen wherever you pulling guard went and just followed him.
We've run the same sort of thing for the last 20 year-ish. And This year things are a bit different. That's all I'll go with. They are preparing to air the ball out a little bit. We've got another quarterback there that's not Nathan that just commented. He's shite. A different one. No, I'm joking. Nathan's a good player. I coach him at junior as well. That I think they're going to do things a little bit differently. They're changing how they're working on defense, and they're actually going to fit players. So they're going to fit the scheme to the players rather than just hoping the players fit the scheme now. So it's getting there. He's not coming to the uni now either. That's fine, mate. It's fine. I'll pick up players. Mate, scholarships for days are just like that with scholarships, mate. We don't want one shut up, right?
So interesting. No mention there from the guys who commented on Clyde Ballard Blackhawks. They lost guys because it was impressive last year, and they were a Div 1 team the year before.
Yeah, they've just picked up one of the Breen brothers. I think the Aberdeen QB. He's going to be down there now as well. So that might change things as well. I don't know anything about their other QB, but I know he's now down there, so that might definitely shake it up a little bit. But the Hunters were founded based on a couple of guys that had played GFL too, I think. So they've just got a couple of key players, the Hunters, that are just absolute athletes, and they hold down everyone in there.
Nice.
I don't know.
So is it one of those? And could guys from Dumfries leave to go to other teams, or is it a bit of an isolated?
Nah, they're near Furness and Carlisle, eh? So if anything, they're just going to have gained guys from it.
The best players from those two.
Yeah, I think the closest team to them after Carlisle is across the way towards Newcastle. I think that's generally the closest. Yeah.
I mean, for me, I think. By the way, congratulations to the Kings on just merging with I think it just merged with a flag team. Is it Carnegie? It's called and things. Well, that was all announced. So, shout out for that. By the way, that was spot on.
Are they getting the Yori spoon?
Kings, no. I don't want to say this, man. I'm not putting my neck on the line on this one.
Go on, James. Who are you giving the spoon to?
Oh, I can't say the Senators. So
damn right you can't.
Let's go for. Let's just put it on the Hunters. Go on.
The Hunters have been spooned. Gone against the expert opinion of Sam there. I like it. Little bit of a mix up there. A lot of time for that.
I'll get it done. There's two Napier boys that play for the Hunters, and they'll definitely know if I dub them in and say that. So I need to say they're going to win it. Like,
fair enough. Hey, that's what teammates are for.
Exactly.
Adam Hughes. I don't know if he's spooning Darlington here, but they've not been mentioned a lot. So
he's a player for us. He's a player for us.
Oh, right, okay. Well done, Adam. You said what Adam was probably actually thinking. So Darlington Street, and you've been spooned by me.
I did not say that. By the way, people at Steam, I did not say that, right? Some of them know where I live, mate.
So we're going to move to Division 1, SFC 1 East. So this is a bit more, so Div 1 football now. So we've got in this one, whilst we're going back down south, Hertfordshire, Cambridgeshire Cats, London, Bury Saints, Essex Spartans, who we know have just been promoted, I think, from the other division, and Wembley Stallions, which should be the best team in Britball, in my opinion, because you have an NFL game there year in, year out, get better, get advertising right at that stadium. So you should be the best team in Britball, but you're not. So who we got here, guys? Anyone know much of this division as to who we think's going where?
I know Hertfordshire have a class youth and junior set up, and they are consistently good at senior. It's definitely going to be Hertfordshire that win this. Plus, Hertfordshire Hurricanes are on their doorstep as well. I think Hertfordshire have got this easy, and I don't know very much about the South. I've just heard of Hertfordshire cheaters loads.
Yeah. You got the Essex Spartans in there again, though.
Yeah, they must be on a roll.
Bury Saints, is it a good year for American Air Force bases this year?
Probably the opposite with COVID. They'll all be gone.
Or they're all stuck doing nothing over here, you know what I mean? There could be loads of them.
Yeah, so Cambridgeshire Cats will probably be okay in terms of what they were last year, from my understanding.
Yeah, they're consistent.
Hertfordshire, last year they went 7-3. I think they lost one game to Sussex and 2 to Solent. They were in the Central rather than the East. The Cats went 9-1, and the Hornets went 8-2. So I think all three of those teams are going to be pushing for the top, right?
Yeah, I know Who's Valley there interestingly went 1-9 in that last year, so they've just been relegated out of the division. So that wild dark horse, what James picked, might look all right if they've just been relegated.
I like
Come back with
do something like.
What's that?
I like the Cats. I think they're a decent side.
Yeah,
Can I wild card the Spartans, please? Essex Spartans.
Yeah, so I was going to go as well. Like, we played them at youth in the finals. When was it? However long ago the last finals were. And, yeah, it was so long ago.
20 years ago.
Yeah, so we played them in a 5th or 6th place playoff in the end, and it got to the point where. So we were trying to get guys reps at the time. So we put our starters in, and then we scored, and then they scored on us, and then both teams were like, right, we're going to put some backups in, and then we scored, and they scored, and it was just like back and forwards all game. We're tied, and the referee was like, we've never had a tie at finals. We don't know what to do, and both teams were like, well, we'll just call it a draw. Like, we'll call it a draw, and then someone from Baffa was like, we can't have a draw. Someone must be crowned 5th place, and someone must be 6th. So we were like, right, well, we'll just go out with the backups. And they came out with the starters and beat her. I was raging. I couldn't freaking believe it. I've never seen anything like it in my life. But nah, I like them. They were good guys. So I like the setup. For me, if you've got a youth team, a junior team, flag team, things like that, I'll put you up there. I think constantly developing players. So I'm happy with that.
Right, okay. Super stuff. Right, so any more on that one?
Nah.
So that's going to be an interesting division, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it will be. It looks like a competitive one. Essex coming up, very proverbial. Like that 5-5 team could be good.
Every single team in that division had a winning record last season.
Oh, nice. Well, we'll see.
Worst record was Wembley Stallions with 5-5.
And Wembley Stallions have got everything, haven't they? They've got women's, they've got youth, junior, everything. So. Stallions to win. Stallions to win.
I think everything. Mackey's drive-through. Bet they've got that chicken nuggets on demand. You name it, they've got it.
They'll have everything, mate. They'll have everything.
Love a set of chicken nuggets. SFC 1 Central. So South Wales Warriors. Look at us. We're learning now. We know we're promoted because we've been through the other divisions and they went 8-0 or whatever it was last year. Portsmouth Dreadnoughts, Oxford Saints, Rushmore Knights, Sussex Thunder, and Bournemouth Bobcats. Some travelling there between those teams. I've got news for you.
Is Rushmore? Is that just?
That's Farnham.
Yeah, that's horrible. That name.
They have a running back that's class. I don't know his name, but they have a running back that is absolutely phenomenal.
And they've got the big country offensive lineman, haven't they? There.
Aye.
Are we allowed to say we just hope South Wales get battered?
Why do you like South Wales? What's wrong with South Wales?
Did you not see the footage?
Oh, is this someone did a late hit or something?
What? Not just one, mate. There was about 35. Like, honestly, little Tinkerbell there getting his late hits in. Can it stand the blow? Get him at the bottom.
When the Tamworth Phoenix first started as a team, there was 2 bogey teams that we had, 3 bogey teams in the first few seasons. The one that beat us a lot was albeit we'd meet in the finals was what is now the London Warriors, but the other 2 were the South Wales Warriors. It was always difficult going there. And then the Nottingham Caesars as well. The Nottingham Caesars would beat us.
Are a good team
by running ISO up the gut, and we had a real problem stopping it. We got it fixed, but yeah. So I look back at the South Wales Warriors, not with, I know this might have happened recently, but I look back with some fondness because they were a professional outfit. They were like courteous in how they played, and obviously things have deteriorated and got away from that. But I sort of remember them as being a good team. When you look back and you've got your rose-tinted glasses on. That's how I see those boys.
Yeah.
Have they gone dirty now? Are they a dirty team?
The quarterback that they hit was a quarterback at the Blitz B that used to play for Trojan. So sorry.
They're now dead to Adam.
Yeah. If you look up pricks in the dictionary, South Wales Warriors.
I would wild card Sussex for this one.
Yeah.
100%. I think that's a pretty good shout.
By the way, Sussex for their highlight stuff they put out. Class. I don't know why you don't get awards and stuff for that, by the way. Yeah. Love that. Teach everyone else how to do that. Love it.
So we've got who we're picking to win this then. James, who have you got to win it?
You know what? I am going to say the Sussex Thunder are going to win it.
Yeah, same.
I like that. I'm going to go Portsmouth here. I think that just because they're down there and it's so far away from most of the teams there, apart from Bournemouth, I feel like it's a good trek to there, and they've got a good uni set up from what I know. So I think they'll be good team there.
Can someone tell me why the Knights are now called the Rushmore Knights? I know you sort of mentioned it before, but when I first started playing, they were the Fastlane Knights, and then it was the Farnham Knights, and now it's the Rushmore Knights. They just open a dictionary and pick something like what's going to be next, the Punk Rocker Knights or something.
I hope so.
Love that. No answers really. There's nothing to that. Right, let's get back up north, back up here. Get to Div 1. Houghton Spartans. Obviously just been promoted from Division 2. Nottingham Caesars, the proverbial Division 1 team, also produces semi-average content online. Chester Romans, Yorkshire Rams, Leicester Falcons, Lancashire Wolverines, and Shropshire Revolution.
Can I give you my thoughts on this?
Wait there, just before we do, we need to decide as a group, do we want to try and get a real bite off some people, or do we want to do it seriously?
No, just do it as serious, but there's no doubt we're going to have to be.
Okay, so for the spoon, I'm going to go Leicester. No, I'm joking. Leicester's going to smash that division.
I tell you what will be interesting with Leicester. There's no doubt that they've got a good chance to be the wild card about their Americans, because I know the American coach has left to go back. So I don't know if that has a knock-on effect. I'm sure Guy won for his publicity in Britball. I can't imagine him putting out a substandard team.
Guy Curtsy gets a lot of stick, right? But he's a very smart man and a very clever businessman, and he runs that team unbelievably well. Leicester Falcons will be absolutely fine.
Well, I'm saying I thought about this. I'm saying for the wooden spoon, going Halton, and that hurts me to say that because I've got a lot of respect for the Halton setup, and I have spent a lot of the last season trying to scheme on how to beat them. Watched a lot of their tape. They did very well to get promoted out of Div 2 because they recruited well and they had a good setup and they had good returning players and good coaching setup. They've lost the coaches. They've lost some of their coaches. They've retired. The GM's retired. The guys that they recruited, who they got from Merseyside, the Merseyside offensive line, which were very good, are no longer playing for Halton.
Their running back's gone to Mersey as well.
Yeah, they're still playing in that incredible stadium and all that, but they are really struggling for numbers. They haven't been able to maintain that momentum, and it's once a few of your key players go, everyone else starts looking for another team. So Halton had that momentum, and if they'd have maintained that, I think they would have breezed through this division. Well, maybe not breezed through, but they would have done well. But I don't think they're going to have the momentum, and I think people are going to get disenchanted, and they're going to end up backing Div 2, which is a real shame because, I'd say, like best ground in Britball. Playing under
Kent, apparently.
No.
Kent got a nice stadium, apparently. I think with this one as well, you've got Nottingham. Will just be Nottingham, won't they? They'll win a couple. They'll lose a couple. Chester, I think, have one of the best coaches, I think, in the north of Britball. I think Chester will do okay. They're a well-run team. I follow some of their guys on Instagram.
Who's that coach, Mike?
What's his name? I say that, I'll just absolutely... I knew as soon as I said it, I'd forget his name, so I'm going to Facebook him. Oh, no, I'm not, because I'm screen sharing.
You're screen sharing.
His name absolutely slips my mind, and I look like an idiot now, so...
Not that good. Can't remember who he is. Nah,
I know
get back on the right bit, Mike. Come on.
the Rams coaches went to Chester. I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not, I'm not talking about them.
Wasn't there a lot of transfers to Nottingham?
Yeah.
Didn't they do what you were kind of talking about before, Chris, in terms of finding a lot of players that wanted to play together and then just all bunging them into Nottingham? I saw quite a lot of that obviously before everything got cancelled, that they were saying that a lot of guys had transferred in.
Yeah, Timmy's the coach.
It'll be really hard to predict the bottom of that division, though. That'll be a really, really close division. All those teams are pretty good.
I think it's going to be out of Rams and Wolverines.
Well, you bottom?
Yeah.
It's the Rams phenomenon's incredible. Like, obviously, we were involved with the Rams, and they changed it. Like football's a Sunday sport, right? They changed the training to be on Saturdays, and there's like a lot of people have other commitments to do that. They've reserved Sundays in their life for football. So, you know, a load of people went off to Nottingham, and a load of people went off to the Bobcats, and a load of people went off to or are going off to Doncaster now. So that Rams course been split up. So they had that when the Rams changed from gold to purple, they were really struggling to get numbers, and they've sort of rebuilt that core. They've changed the head coach since, so I'm not sure.
Who's the head coach there?
I don't know his name off the top of my head.
Is it Dale still? Is Dale head coach?
Director of the academy? He stepped away from being head coach, which means that they don't have to run Dale's playbook, which I think is a good thing, that you don't have to run that playbook in senior league football, because people know how to stop it, and it's built more towards uni ball as well, isn't it? So, I think Yorkshire Rams are going to be rebuilding. I think they'll do better.
They've been rebuilding for many years, the Yorkshire Rams.
Yeah, they have. Like, from seeing them last year or whenever it was, I think it's either going to be Wolverines or Rams, and I think it's going to literally come down to maybe one game between them.
At the bottom?
Yeah.
A Wolverines' fate. Is Wolverines' failures tied to Manchester's success?
No.
Yes and no. It's fair to say. I think there is, from my understanding, again, I don't know anyone at the Wolverines really, apart from guys who've left. I think that failure came from some toxic people within that team. So I don't necessarily mean it's a bad thing from them. I just think stuff happened, players left. A lot of those guys there was a core who came to the Titans. That helped us where we was going, but I think the Titans' success comes from having a wider program and a nice platform to go and join. So
there's a few of those boys gone to Holton and things as well, though.
Yeah, I think it just came from the type of players who were in there running that team, and from what my understanding, were still there playing and running that team. You know, I've had guys who said I just won't play with them because of the type of players they are, and that's all it is.
Realistically, though, if you're not quite fit, you should go with Titans, because don't they play on like a 50-yard field or something like that anyway? I wind up about this every time, by the way.
It's a legitimate IAAF pitch, so that's all that matters.
There's go-karts that go around it as well, isn't there? So that's good. Cowley said who the Yorkshire Rams head coach is. It's Jason Shaw.
Jason Shaw, that's the one. Yeah. I don't know much about him, to be fair. I don't know if it'll be a good or bad appointment for them.
I think it's an internal promotion. I think it's
it is. Yeah, he was there. DT, wasn't he?
I'm not sure. I thought it was OC. But
I think, to be fair, I think Shropshire will do what Shropshire do. That they'll win and lose some games. They've got some talented guys on offense and defense. Lancashire, it depends who they keep and who they lose, as always. They've got a good catchment area. Lancashire, Chester will be good, probably. Again, with Yorkshire, Chester, they won't put out bad teams. I don't think. Again, it would depend on who Yorkshire keep. It is.
Yorkshire's got some good old heads like Cowley and stuff talking there. I mean, Cowley's still a great player now, but in his day he was fantastic. But they've got that good core, but they're not recruiting anyone. There's the university guys who come in, but they're not bringing in a new generation of players.
I'll tell you what, though.
With the Rams, if Chris Lawton doesn't play for the Rams, Charlie Goff's now gone, Adam Cowley doesn't play. That's three of the best players I've ever played with in Britball, full stop. So if you lose them out your team, then they are going to struggle. Now, if those three guys play,
Well, that's what the Rams have been doing. That they had some not fantastic coaches making some not fantastic decisions for a few years, which dropped them down from the Premiership down to the bottom of Div 1. They've sorted that out, but the squad's just getting older and older and older, and there's no injection of youth coming through. Yorkshire Rams used to be a powerhouse.
Yeah, but you've got to remember, so Yorkshire, at the minute, they have got that academy set up as well, which is very good, by the way, and we'll talk about that later on. Their goal isn't to get these kids to come and filter into that team straight away.
No.
Their goal is to get these kids to go over to America. They've got kids over there already. They've had kids down at Bristol. They've got kids at university. That's going to pay off soon. It's not going to be long. They just need
I don't know, is it?
It is 100%.
I think it's 100%. I agree with you both. It's 100% going to pay off, but it's not going to pay off for the Yorkshire Rams senior American football team, which is a dying program. But the academy is fantastic, and the academy will be better for the sport and better for Britball. But I don't see Yorkshire Rams going anywhere other than a slow decline like Doncaster had. And those teams, right, when I was playing for Doncaster, I was speaking to Charlie Goff and I'm saying, we win the Premiership if we combine these teams and create a proper Yorkshire powerhouse. But no, I'm not going to Doncaster.
Do not get me started on combining teams, mate.
I know, yeah. Well, if you've got, even if you did, well, you've got Leeds Bobcats as well there. That's the problem. They're the kind of differences why I always refer to Manchester is Manchester don't have that, whereas Leeds is a similar catchment, and if you include Doncaster, you've got Bobcats, Rams, and Doncaster.
I'll tell you this right now: the way you fix football in Yorkshire, right? The way you fix things is you recombine, because Leeds Bobcats is the Yorkshire Rams youth team splintered off and grown up now. You recombine those two teams because the Bobcats can't cope by themselves, and the Rams can't cope by themselves, and the Bobcats have got youth. But no experience, and the Rams have got experience and no youth. So you combine those teams, and you've got the university guys from the academy. You've all of a sudden you've got a team that could cope in the Premiership. But
they're still finishing bottom this year, though. Yeah.
But both, the problem is both of them. I think that you're not going to get them to a table together.
I can't
think that bad, man. Try Vikings and Senators.
Yeah.
Oh,
try DC. So the president's Vikings and Senators.
Yeah. Are DC still knocking about as a team?
Yeah, mate. I've seen a couple of them playing on the swings on Sunday or something. I think they were doing that. Come on, guys, get off the swings. Time to play football. Come on.
Right. So I'm leaving it out. This is going to be, I think, a split vote here, guys. Who we spooning? Who's getting spooned? We'll go top to bottom. Chris first. Who are you spooning?
I'm spooning Holton, and I'm giving Leicester the top of it.
Okay, Sam.
I'll spoon Holton, and I'll give Nottingham as a wild card to win it.
Nice, I like that. To be fair, they've got two excellent universities. They should be better.
Yeah,
yeah. If that pays off, you're right. I agree with you. James?
Spoon Lancashire, and I was also going to go a sneaky little dark horse for the Nottingham Caesars.
Got a lot of love for Nottingham, mate. It's one of those with Nottingham. If it all clicks and they get those uni guys, they win it. They're a Premier team. It just doesn't seem to happen, does it? Adam?
I'm going to go Leicester to win it. Dark horse for me is Shropshire.
Nice, I like that one.
Bottom, surprise, I'm going Wolverines.
I will, based on the information I found out today, I will spoon Holton. I think I really like the dark horse pick of Nottingham. And I think it'll be right to say Leicester will have the win there. I'll have to come through gritted teeth, that one. So let's go to the Baffinal NFC North. So we're going right.
There it is. Look at Sam now. He's getting ready. To kick off.
Only division I know to anything about all the teams.
And Sam, it's over to you. Our representative from north of the border of Scotland. Please move down this division.
Put him on the big screen. Screen.
It's definitely between East Kilbride and Northampton and the Vikings, isn't it? Like, I think that the last game that they played, I think it was 8-2 and 5-3 in like one of the two lower scoring Div 1 teams. Like, So it's between them two. I wouldn't say though. I would say that Inverclyde are going to come in and annoy people in that division. Though Inverclyde are really good. They've got a lot of guys that moved from either the Tigers or EKP when EKP got relegated from the Prem. A lot of guys went off to Inverclyde. They don't have as many from the Trojan. Well, they have a good core from there, obviously, when the Trojans folded, but they did pick up a lot of guys from like outer side of Glasgow who didn't want to commute into Hamilton or where Glasgow Tigers train either anymore. I think it's East Kilbride or Northumbria, and it will generally just depend on what guys Northumbria get from their academy and what guys East Kilbride get from their junior setup. Both have really good junior setups.
The main thing here for this one, okay, the main question is, are students and things going to be able to have enough time to bed in, or the season's going to run alongside each other? Because if it's students have got to take part in, like if students are wiped out of this completely, like they've got to play for the uni or whatever, that drops Vikings right the way down for me.
I was going to say, like, because East Kilbride don't pull that many from the uni as they think. It's so much just organically grown guys from their junior team. Whereas obviously, the Vikings have the Giants Academy, but they do get a lot of guys from Newcastle Uni, Northumbria Uni, and some from Durham, like the British guys that stay in Durham, not the Americans as such, even though they do pick up a couple of them. So yeah, you're right. I think going down.
You've got the flip side of that. Sorry to interrupt there. Okay. With the less, I said it's going to be less likely of any kind of Uniball season, and you've got guys who might be a little bit more chomping at the bit and can be there earlier. Vikings, I think I've got new coaching system, new system. So I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe they've got the old Aberdeen coach, Matt.
Yeah, which is why I was going to say I think it's going to be Aberdeen that are going to really, really struggle in that division just because it's so good, and Inverclyde aren't coming up as like a place filler. They're a pretty good side. They're ran really well as well.
I think the Tigers will struggle more.
The Tigers always have like a really good squad, and McCluskey there's their head coach, and McCluskey's
he's a quality coach.
And they're starting things. I know it won't pay off now, but they're starting things with their youth stuff now.
Yeah.
So I think they're kind of wanting to go in the right direction. But I think Tigers will stay. I think Aberdeen, with the loss of the head coach and the loss of the quarterback, who's now at Clyde Valley, are really going to struggle. Because they barely have a uni team to pull from now. Those guys are Aberdeen Uni are just getting into it now. So although they're the only team there, there's not much for them to pull off compared to the rest of those teams.
There's nothing else around really, is it, for this? So if you want to do American football, you're new to the sport, you're going to go there, and they've got some big guys. Like these guys must like flip sheep or coming up in that place. Like they're massive. Some of these lot. Like they had a guy that hit me last year, and I couldn't remember getting hit until like 3 weeks and 2 days or something after it was. I was like, that guy hit me, didn't he? Like they've got some big boys up there as well, so they just need more of them.
I think EKP walk this one.
It goes back to that thing. If there's no uni season, I think EKP are just because their junior setup's just going to feed them guys. All the time, and they feed them good junior players as well. It's not like they field them place fillers; they field starters.
Yeah,
for me, it's Vikings. I need to know who's going to be the quarterback because it's changed the last 3 years. I need to know who their offensive line is because I know they've lost people like Corney and things like that off the offensive line. Who's going to be at receiver because they've got different guys from unis now coming in there. They've got the defense, which is kind of solid and it'll be there, but it's the rest of the pieces that I'm.
Well, that's the thing that dictates the success of the Vikings for me. It's like they're known for having a fantastic defense. So if they can maintain their fantastic defense, they're going to be in the conversation. It's like EKP as well. They're known for the flip side. They're known for being able to create explosive and difficult offenses.
Pull that comment back up, Mike, for a second. Right. So if it's Nick at QB, Vikings. Don't get us started. He's got a brother, Whitehead, Nick Whitehead.
Nick Whitehead, yeah.
If Nick's a QB, Vikings don't lose a game. If Nick's starting QB, they don't lose a game.
He's a proper Bobcat kid with him, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he runs about all over the place. Hell of a player. I don't think they'll lose a game for his QB. Rate him. And if you're watching now, Nick, see, still do have the love for you, mate. You like that?
So yeah, because didn't he have a brother? Well, I'm sure he
Yeah,
still-
mate. The two of them are unbelievable. Nick and Al Whitehead.
Yeah, and we're Al the Sunderland QB when Sunderland was
Yeah. Well, both of them have been the Sunderland QB, mate.
Yeah, because I remember we played against him, and I think he broke his leg against us when he was on for like a record season. Poor lad. Nothing worse than breaking your leg when you're winning 40-0 against a shit Huddersfield Hawks team, isn't it?
I'll tell you what I will do, though, since we're talking about this division as well. Shout out a buffer that decided that the Vikings would have to travel twice to Aberdeen to make up the numbers for this division.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's the smartest move I've ever heard of in my life.
Well, that's like actually something that's really serious, because if you look at this division last year, when the Yorkshire Rams were in it, then the Yorkshire had to travel to Edinburgh twice, or they had to go East Kilbride, they had to go Glasgow, they had to go Aberdeen. Like a lot of
Lancashire just pulled out of it, don't they?
A lot of people left the Yorkshire Rams because they didn't want to travel to Scotland.
It's shit up here, to be fair. Like,
Straight in Scotland. What an advert you are, by the way.
just
Nothing better than stopping at the services where you're tipping yourself full of Iron Brew and Budweiser. I know Budweiser's not a Scottish beer, but
I don't know what bus journeys you've been on, but if you're not coming back on the tang on the old Buckfast, then you're doing it wrong, mate.
You know what it is? You need to stop off at a chippy. You need to get a battered Mars bar. One of the Scottish lads in our team would get a battered pizza, which is apparently called a pizza crunch.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then just stock up on drink. And then we didn't realise that we should have bought all the alcohol in England first, because you got getting robbed in Scotland, by the way. I couldn't believe it.
I know, yeah.
I charged us £9 for like 8 cans. I was like, you can sort off as well. I was like, you got to create a 20
that minimum alcohol price, and gotta love it up. Yeah, visit Scotland.
So let's get into politics then. Will Scotland leave? I'm joking.
That's not a topic. I think East Kilbride are going to win it, because I'm going to be loyal. I think like if Baptiste's still playing at quarterback, he's just lethal. Even if he's not, the guy they've got behind him, Sam Montgomery, is the boy that took them to 2 Britball finals at junior. He's class. Running back's good. Receivers are good. They get quite a few guys for this Klansmen that come down because of quite a lot of their junior players will go play uni ball at the Klansmen, then bring guys down for the senior team. So there's a link there. So I think I think it'll be close with Northumbria, though, particularly if quite a few of the academy players are now at Durham and Newcastle. So I think that'll maybe help pull some guys in there. But I think it's East Kilbride's to win, and unfortunately Aberdeen, I think, are going to get the wooden spoon here. And I think Inverclyde is a rogue wild card just to shake things up a bit.
Yeah, nobody knows on those ones. I completely agree with that. I think Glasgow get the spoon for me, though.
Yeah, me too.
We go.
James, what do you think?
I know fuck all about Scotland, so I'll just say East Kilbride takes it.
Good stuff.
Nice. Love that. Well, let's
Newcastle in Northumberland is actually in England, mate, but it's fine. It's all right. If we had the choice, we'd be in Scotland. It's fine.
Let's flip to the Premiership now, South and North. So
this will be quick.
We'll have to shoot straight to James on this as our Southern representative. Now, you've got the easiest job of all. Who's going to win the division?
Maybe the Thrashers, you know.
If you said that seriously there, I'm turning this off.
Yeah, Olympians.
Olympians?
He said that with a straight face as well.
Gotta be the
Warriors. Oh, there's this. I was going to wait for that. Nah,
Warriors. Warriors. I don't know what else you want me to say on that.
Unless the Olympians are getting that NFL Hall of Fame when they come back.
I mean, could have Woodson on the back.
Can you imagine that?
There is one chance, I think, that the Blitz win this, and his name's Patrick Daly. So if Patrick Daly, his brother Jack, plays for the Blitz, so Patrick's coming back, I think, to play British American football again. If Patrick goes to the Blitz, that fixes their QB
He was
QB carousel.
Was he not on a training video of the Blitz training at the Blitz? Like before lockdown hit.
Maybe.
I thought I saw like a hype video of and he was in it.
Yeah.
Could be wrong though.
Why don't you just ask him? He's in the stream. Pat,
Is it?
are you for?
Are you going to Blitz?
Come on, Pat, he's an exclusive. He's in the stream.
Also,
Guys, it's like a 30 seconds for me.
Can I just say about Jack Daly as well? Like, what an incredible athlete he is. He's like Pat on steroids. Like, he's been. I was playing with Jack years and years ago before Pat started playing, and Jack was just phenomenal. He would catch everything. If we're in doubt, we needed to win the game, we'd get the ball to Jack. Now, the only difference between Jack and Pat is that Jack's never played QB. So it's like you put Pat.
Well, maybe the Blitz needs to figure that out and get Jack at QB then.
The funniest stat I've ever got from EKP was I apparently got a QB hurry on Pat Daly, and I was like, "That's a fucking lie!" Like, because I was nowhere near him.
Like, I don't know what my craziest stat ever is.
Yeah,
10 carries against EKP last season, 9 yards. I was well impressed.
I'd be for that as well. No, it was when it was the 0-10 season for EKP, and Tamworth forgot their kits and they were playing in the white EKP kit, so we got battered in our own kit, and then Pat rolled out and I chased him and he threw it away, and the receiver caught it and the stat guy put it down as a QB hurry, and I was like, no, it was not. I was nowhere near the boy. If the boy would have juked me backwards, like it was not going to be a stat.
my favourite Pat Daly fact. So when we were playing for Doncaster, we were playing against Tamworth at Tamworth. Pat Daly got I think it was a receiving touchdown. This was before he was playing quarterback. He got receiving touchdown. He got an interception touchdown. So an offensive, a defensive, and a kick return, offensive, defensive, and special team touchdown, all in one half of football, which is ridiculous. Like, what an athlete that man is.
He's like the Pikachu of Britball, isn't he? Everyone wants him on the team.
Yes. Yeah, little Thunderball. No, I think
I call it Tinkerbell.
The Tinkerbell, I like it. This is my prediction. If Pat Daly plays for the Blitz topple the Warriors this year.
I still don't. I think it's going to be the Warriors, and then
he's that much of a difference maker.
I mean, in that division, would we not be better doing a wild card for second place, since the Warriors are just going to be so dominant?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I'll go out and say, I think if Pat Daly's there, I promise you, this is a good chance. I
hope to God it's first game of the season and the Warriors go and smash them like 100-0 or something, and come back on the show and go, Mike, what the hell are you talking about, man?
Because he wasn't that far. Well, all right, they was far away last year, but I think Pat's. I said this, and this is what happened with Tamworth. I think Pat's like at least a 14, 21 point player in a game. He's gonna get you those points by doing Pat things. So, I mean, I'm not sure in terms of how far away they were behind, but I think that helps them quite substantially. And I know the Olympians probably think they're in with a shout.
See, I think wild card for second place would be Olympians, and then I think wooden spoons between probably Solent and Bristol. Are Bristol still in this one?
Yeah, Bristol.
Yeah. So probably between Solent and Bristol for the bottom, wild card Olympians for second place. Then the Warriors are just going to run it.
Yeah. I think. I mean, all right, you know.
If it was a Royal Rumble, Warriors coming at one, they still run the table and win it, don't they?
Yeah. I think Solent will be absolutely fine in this division. I think I've seen a few of their games last year, and I think they'll be absolutely fine.
So James, obviously you've gone winners and grinners and Warriors. Who have you got as your wild card?
Go for the Olympians.
Olympians wild card. And who's getting relegated?
The Kent Exiles.
Kent Exiles.
Oh.
Well, it just depends which of those guys who play for Kent, or do they play for Olympians? Do they play for Blitz? Do they play for? There's the same core of guys. I understand. Just move between all teams. I think the best thing when we talk about merge, just merge Kent and the Olympians. Then you've got a decent team to compete with the Warriors and Blitz. I think that wouldn't be far off. Bristol should be a good. They're my wild card team. Bristol. because they've got a chance of always having the other teams which are associated to them. They've got the B team, they've got the Pride. They could just be good and young and finally get over the hump there. So they could be a wild card team for me. I think Solent, unfortunately, but down they go, unfortunately. So
we need
cool,
to speed this up because it's getting into the time where we're going to get cut off soon.
Yeah.
So let's fly through the next few ones.
So division of the century, the best division in all of football.
Sam first, see who he sees.
Sam, go first.
Oh, then you're just gonna fucking smack me, Mike, when I line up opposite you at D-line. You're just gonna completely. I've dropped 20 kilos in lockdown, and I'm still apparently playing end, and I'm so frightened of Manchester's line in that sense. Like, last time I did it, I was 20 kilos heavier, and they sent me on a pinch play, and you just ate me. I just got completely slammed into the dirt on a double team.
If you're playing at end, Michael just cuddle the tackle again. Don't worry. Just you just let you through just for the crack.
I'm gonna say Tamworth. I'm gonna back Edinburgh to wild card it. Particularly just because based on last year, they split Manchester. So I didn't see that game, but from what I've heard from it, it was a good game. It was a good game when you guys came up. Yeah. So if you can, and I get the rest of that division just turned into a shit show in terms of everyone just started beating everybody, and it just all kind of went bad. But I think Tamworth are going to win it. I would wild card Edinburgh on it if we can, kill the split. But obviously, Michael's going to have something to do with that, and then. Going down, that's so hard to call. I couldn't call who was going down. That would just be a game decider. It will be. Yeah.
It's a tough division this year, for that. Because every year, Sheffield, I'll go with the bottom teams first. I think Sheffield are always that. Are they going to get relegated? Never seem to. I know they've got a really good QB, and I think it's Josh Adamson, I think is his name. So that could do them all right.
Yeah, they're getting good coaching stuff as well.
Yeah, good coaching staff. Toby's always gonna try and recruit people. Good defense, solid defense. Sandwell, you're gonna have to put. I'm getting an echo from someone. It's really hard because he can hear himself. Sandwell are going to be tough because they just came up. They've got the Legion of Swag or whatever they call it, the DBs, bunch of idiots who wear.
They've also got Tristan Varney, who's very good.
Well, I was going to say, they've got Tristan. So with Tristan, you've got a chance. Me and Chris Peebles we had a phone call the other night for an hour and a half where we fangirled over Tristan for most of that call.
That's a bloody... 20 people are watching that now.
I know, the iHeart.
It gets back to Tristan,
You used to being on stream. You do your Tuesday game thing. You love it. You're not shy of the camera. We love Tristan Varney, and that's it.
Go to someone really impartial and just ask James for his picks.
James, come on, who's your pick?
Yeah, I can't go against Tamworth, can I? Since I live here, but they probably should win anyway.
You can. You can go against Tamworth. Just look at the facts. We beat them over 3 quarters last year. But half.
I'll give the Titans the wild card.
So this is what I'm going to say about Tamworth, right? I don't know if we know who the GB coaching staff is, but we do know who the GB head coach is. Every player worth his salt who wants to get into the GB squad knows that Tamworth is an auditioning stage, and if you can impress the head coach playing for Tamworth, it increases your chances to be able to get into the GB squad.
Mate, you've not been watching our show. We picked the GB squad on the other week.
I know, but it's
guys say that because he went in it.
yeah. Well, what the hell? Like 300 games of football for this sport. I'm not selected for. Why is my name falling out of favour? Is it because I'm like mid-30s now?
You've been in Div 2 like nothingness for 3 years.
Yeah, I've been killing it. Where's it at? Right. I'll go back to the Premiership next year, and I'll show you that I can still.
You can hang
everyone. Yeah.
James, how much did he sound like Steve there? By the way, Steve still thinks he's going to fight a Farnham.
Yeah, they're very much like Steve.
No, Tamworth are going to win because they are going to recruit. Like Sandwell are going to struggle for the recruitment because why would you play for Sandwell when you can play for Tamworth and have the GB coaches coaching you and get your GB, which is what these guys want. That target-rich environment of. Well, Derby doesn't have a football program anymore, but Leicester, Derby, two Nottinghams, Loughborough, that Midlands and Birmingham, all those uni teams, they're all going to be wanting to get in there with Tamworth so that they can get the GB coaching and they can have careers in football. They can have good football careers where they're representing the country.
So do you think Sandwell will get relegated then?
It depends on recruiting. I think if people are going to go to Tamworth so that they can have the experience of the GB coaches, then Sandwell will struggle because of that. The catchment of those two is very similar, ultimately.
Yeah, I have to agree. I'll do with recruitment, and I think Tristan's health holds up. I think there's a lot riding on that. They've got a good, solid team, though, so they've got some superstars on defence. I joked about the Legion of Swag thing, but you get a nickname in Britball by doing, swaggy things but playing well. So they've got good defence.
Yeah, like family.
Like the family, yeah, the family in Phoenix. Phoenix are obviously the front runners for this. It's been their title. So I think Edinburgh Wolves probably are the dark horses of this. I agree with Sam there. If they can get it all clicking, you've got to travel up to Edinburgh. It's always a tough trip. So they're in that league. Yeah, new coaching staff. I know you had a couple of injuries at QB and stuff last year, which really hurt you guys. Never rule out the Wolves. It's a tough trip up there. They play you tough. The offensive line's absolutely huge. They hit with the heads, so that they're a good team up there. Not physically, obviously.
Legally, they do it legally.
Yeah, safe football, but when you played Edinburgh. Obviously, I'm going to pick the Titans as my dark horse and to win it because what we've based our football on has only got better with our recruitment in the off season. So I think we'll have a very nasty offensive line, a good run game. Well, we've got better on defense.
That's the other thing to consider with the Titans as well. Is you've got the momentum. You've got the Titans as the giant killers who toppled Tamworth last season. It's like, where's the momentum? Tamworth have gone from being the national champions to losing to the Warriors and losing to the Titans as well. And Titans, they're going up, they're trending upwards. So people don't like people at the top. They like people who are ascending and getting to the top. And people think, am I the guy who can go to the Titans and help them win a national championship?
Well, for me, it's Tamworth top. I think second place or wildcardish is going to be Edinburgh. I think relegation Sandwell, unfortunately.
That division has 3 new head coaches. Sandwell, Manchester, and Edinburgh all have new head coaches in there.
Yeah, but the Titans head coach is not really a new head coach, or is it? He's been around. He's the chairman.
Who's the Edinburgh head coach? Who's the Sandwell head coach and who's the Edinburgh head coach? Sandwell's
new head coach is Hertfordshire Stampede's old head coach, the Div 2 team that just got in. Edinburgh's is Martin Harrison, who was Edinburgh University Predators former head coach, and Titans. I just know the name. I don't know where he kind of came from.
John Holmes coached the under-19 team, was chairman.
Done everything, absolutely everything.
Merseyside's an interesting one here. So they've always split with Titans, always run Tamworth close, and a very, very good one. But I understand they've lost one of the best DBs to Tamworth, from my understanding, Johnny Weeks. He was very close in terms of being on our all-star team. From my understanding, Harry's not fully committed to coming back. He's their quarterback. He's indecisive of his playing. He said earlier on in our podcast in the Adam that was up for debate. Yeah. With that, they could. They're 2 superstars on their team. You lose 2 superstars in any team. Obviously, they've still got Ben as a quarterback and Alex Eager at wide receiver. As long as they can keep players and they don't lose guys, they'll be in with a shot and they can always win.
Right, we've got about 10 minutes left. Let's get on to the next one so we can do some youth and junior quickly.
Well, this is it. That's it. That's the Baffenal Premiership North. Oof. That's it.
Good.
Over to youth and junior.
Let's get on to it.
Right, you're going to have to bear with me. So if you guys want to talk about it whilst I pull it up.
Right, well, I'll take that off the screen while you're doing it then, so we don't have to look at it. So, youth and junior, let's go with the Scottish division. We'll go U16s.
Oh, no, you can't fit me on the spot like that.
I am. Come on. So you've got U16s now. Are we classing? Is Hamilton still in there? Are they gonna? They're gonna.
Yeah,
have
they've come back. I think Hamilton and EK are going to be really good, particularly now they've got the Jag tag thing as well. Highland are just so good. That division is so tough. Like going into that when we went in as like our rookie team, we were just like, this is next level in terms of what we're playing. Each one of those teams. For us personally,
before you went into there, I said you got the hardest division in all of youth football.
I think our division outside of London is the hardest one.
Even in London, mate. Yeah. I think throughout the full of British American football, in any age group, I think that is the most competitive.
Well, the past 3 years, Scottish teams made it the whole way. It at least appeared, if not won it. Highland last year, EKP the year before, and I think EP again against Cobham, and they lost. Yeah. For us personally, I mean, I would love to back us to go for it. I mean, we've got, despite COVID, we've got 30 plus guys on the roster for under 16s registered. So like we've managed to come out of this really well. But I just think Highland, when you've got someone full time doing it, I think it just gives you such an edge. And I think it's Robbie's division for a while. But Jim Dorman at EK is so good. He gets those Lanarkshire boys in who hit hard and they run hard. And I think it's really good. I think it'll genuinely be, I think Highland are going to win it. And I think it'll be the same again. I think it'll be between us and EK in the second place. But I would love to give Highland a show, like in terms of make it close to them. But we'll see.
Honestly, like for me, I would agree with that. If I'm honest, like Highland, they play the contact at schools as well, so they've got like the little contact schools league, and then they've got obviously they're all formed to make the Highland Wildcats, and it's just a constant thing. They've got their own ground, their own pitches, but it's for Highland. I can't. They're one of the best setups in the country, mate. Like for me.
The only thing that will hinder Highland is if COVID doesn't allow them to travel because they're so far away. That will literally be the only thing that hinders it. Because even if you do a local Scottish league, they're not local. We're closer to you guys down in Newcastle than we are to Highland. Yeah. That's the only thing that I could see starting Highland's season.
Mike, do you want to pull that up on the screen? Is it going to allow you to pull it up on the screen? Does it let you zoom?
Possibly.
We can't see it. This is how prepared we are.
To be fair, the resources that we had to use to get a youth and junior sort of even alignment was difficult. I mean, I've got it on my phone, so like
I'll get it up on mine as well.
In your division, Adam, I think it's yours to lose, eh? It's Yorkshire right behind you. They're sniffing at you though.
You know what it is, right? So ever since I started doing this, okay, so I'll give you our division first. So we've got Northeast Academy, our noisy neighbours down the road. There's us, Gateshead, Yorkshire. You've got Seskew, you've got Sheffield Giants, and you've got Lincolnshire Bombers. So for me, ever since I started coaching youth football, there's always been a battle between us and. It was Leeds Assassins at the time. Now it's Yorkshire Assassins. There's always been that little rivalry between us, and they seem to turn out players year upon year. Now,
they've got, they've Teddy Hope at running back is phenomenal for them. If he's back, he's just a nightmare.
All I'm concerned, I think Teddy is back.
He's a nightmare. Like I watched.
You know what it is, right? Our division's really strange, right? So it's hard to put it. It's not like we're not really against each other, if you know what I mean. Like that's
like that Scottish one. We get on, and it's just all about if someone goes, they're all like, "Well done." Like it's because you're all so close, eh? You're not too far widespread, but it's.
Well, I remember. So not this season. The season before, we had Bombers in our division. When we actually had a home tournament, by the way, because we didn't have one last year because the stadium was booked out. But Bombers came up and we had the sled and things out before training, and guys were like, "Oh, I can't." Sorry, man, 2 seconds there. So they said that basically they can't they've never been on a sled. They've never been able to have a go of it and stuff like that. So I ended up taking the Bombers team for warm-ups and put them on our sled, and their coaches took my team. And it was just like, it's one of them things at youth football where it's very, for us anyways, I don't know what it's like down south, but in our divisions, we keep it like, it's really friendly, which is, it might seem a bit strange, but for us, I know he said that it's ours to lose, but I think realistically, it's your
I've seen your boys. You show me your preseason stuff. You send me videos when you ring me when you're taking the guys one-on-one. If you guys don't win it, then you've done something seriously wrong. Now, there's no doubt about it. Yorkshire, I've got a great setup, really great setup. They've done really well there in the past. Sheffield, I'm assuming, will just be a growing team. But yeah, you guys really, you've got to do something wrong to not win that division, mate. It's not that we've got to do something wrong. So we could be we may not have our quarterback this season. We may not. Why, Adam?
Because he's been offered to go to high school in the States.
Okay.
He's a freak of nature. Have you seen him? Like he's.
I know, yeah, he sends me videos and he's like what is he? 16 years old, 6'5", 200 pounds, runs,
15,
hits, throws.
15 years old, 6'4", monster. Like he's brilliant. You know what I mean? Like he works hard as well. So it's not like he's just this kid that's just freakishly tall. I agree with Adam there. By the way, Teddy is a Britball legend already. Also, guys, at Leeds, I think he's moved up now. Oscar Davos as well, Britball legend. And if he ever says anything bad about me, I've got a picture of him in a Gateshead hat. So it doesn't make.
Are we sharing pictures and videos, Adam?
No, we're not. No,
all right.
I know you're gonna pull up my Mr. Leg one, so no.
No, it's just all the video you sent me before on the coach.
Oh no! Don't do that, please. No, that was on the way back from Aberdeen. I think Sescu. I'm looking forward to see what they're like this year. They were a new team last year. It's called Sescu Academy on there. I'm sure they're called the Saints now.
Yeah,
if I remember.
Saints, Pit Valley.
Pit Valley Saints. That's it. Yeah. Sorry for getting your name wrong. So I think they're going to be decent. Sheffield Giants last year, they turned up to a tournament with 7 players, I think it was at one point.
Yeah.
And bear in mind, we hadn't lost a game. I don't think we'd been really scored on that often. They turned up and they played us first. We ended up sharing. So we take these, come to our games, we've got these big Gatorade containers. We filled them up with water. These guys had little water bottles with them. We were like, no, guys, you're going to need this. So we give them our Gatorade tub. They're going to be quality. I know their recruitment's been really good.
Yeah, they've announced a bunch of new coaches too. They're really starting to invest in that sort of side of the ball.
Harry O'Neill's their head coach now at under 16s, if I remember rightly.
Well, they came in the same year as us.
Yeah.
I think there was 5 new teams that came in the year they came in, and they were the one for that division. So they're only going to get better if they're staying stable, and if they're governed by a Prem team, you would hope that it's sort of all in order and they can get everything going in gear, and I think they'll be good too. I think,
Northeast as well. Our noisy neighbours down the road, they always have good players.
I think the focus with them is always on their under 19 though. I think their under 16 is about the introductory side rather than, which is what all grassroots football should be fundamentally. That's not to say that but when you prioritise where your resources are in the club, I think Northeast resources heavily go up to the under 19, which showed when they make the final. Whereas the under 16 doesn't seem to kind of get that much going.
Last year, first game of the season, we had Northeast first game of the season. We kind of do a thing where a lot of our guys are new each year, sort of thing. They'll either move up or they might get 2 years at each level. We played Northeast first game of the season. We tied with them. The tournament after they'd already moved all of their 16-year-olds up to junior, and we were playing obviously with like a 13-year-old 6-foot quarterback, and had guys who are now at Bristol, who's like a 210-pound linebacker that just we basically ran over teams. Like It wasn't nice. Like, it wasn't good to watch. We try to get people repped in as much as possible, and that's not what we're about. Like, we had comments from other coaches like, "Oh, you just run over teams," and it's like, we're generally just playing football. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's not what we're trying to do.
If it works, it works. Like, Highland do that. Highland are the Scottish of that, and they run I formation, run it down until you stop it. And if you don't stop it, it doesn't happen.
But that's not what we do. We do not. I'm just going to put this out there now for everyone that's watching. At youth and junior level, we do not care if we win a football game. We are there to teach kids how to play football and develop their skills. We just so happen to teach them that they do end up winning. They end up doing things right. They form tackle. They get things correct. Win's going to happen anyways, but we're not going out there to run up a score on someone. Like, there was games last year where we were kneeling the ball out from half time. That's not me being a knob about it. It's just us kneel the ball out 4 times, give them the ball back. Do you know what I mean? Like, we weren't trying to run scores up. We put backups in. We had backup quarterback that was playing really well, which, to be fair, I think he was one of the better. If he wasn't on our team, he'd been starting somewhere else.
Yeah.
It just so happens he's behind a 6'4" kid that's can throw the full length of the pitch.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, come on, you get off your bloody soapbox. Who's going to win the division? I didn't say this was let Adam talk about Gateshead and how bloody good they are. I said it's a chance for youth football to do some predictions.
I would genuinely say it's Gateshead if Adam's got his QB. If Yorkshire still have their running back in Teddy, I think it's going to be a toss up at that point, and Yorkshire might edge it. Yorkshire were really good.
Yeah, they are a good team.
Then I think as a dark horse, I think if you go off like just on the caliber of club, put Sheffield as a dark horse. If they recruit well and come in, I think that wouldn't be unreasonable. They've gone straight in with a junior team to Div 1. I think that's not fair. And there's no relegation under 16 so we don't even need to cover it.
If there's any of my academy guys watching, I'm going to say Yorkshire to win the division.
There you go. Best way.
Best way. Right, next division. So I think this one is this one Burnley, Chorley, Manchester, 65 Manchester teams.
Considering you've got 14 in Scotland and you've got 6, like it's just it just makes it look so depressing. I'd say it's one of the Manchester ones. I watched them at the Plate when they were in. They were really, really good. Outside that, Chorley were at the final not too long ago. So I'd say Chorley are up and coming again. They're consistent.
I would say Chorley just because Titans split their talent and they're the same boat. They just want kids to play football.
Yeah.
Chorley.
Yeah. Yeah. It's mad that there's 3 teams in Manchester and then Chorley not too far outside of Manchester where kids can actually pick where they play. That is like a Scottish under-16 coach is just phenomenal to actually look at, which is pretty cool. But yeah, Chorley are Manchester. I don't think there's a dark horse there. I think it's going to be just one of the 3 Manchester teams that you punt in or Chorley. So
Chester Romans, they made finals.
Yeah, was that not the junior though?
No, they made youth as well.
Did they?
They made youth, yeah.
Fair. So yeah, maybe them. I think are we going to the next one?
Yeah, we've got the next one. So you've got Tamworth, Leicester, Eton, Sandwell, Birmingham Bulls, Birmingham Lions, Bedford Blackhawks, and Milton Keynes Red Wings.
I'd say Tamworth for this one.
Yeah.
Not Birmingham Lions, have they not got the young QB?
Possibly. We played Birmingham. The problem is it was almost 2 years ago now, the final. But like we played Birmingham at the Plate final and we won 6. That was our last game. So I wouldn't know about Birmingham Lions. Birmingham Bulls are apparently very good. Eton obviously were in the Plate final last year, but they've obviously had a big restructure. So I don't know how much that's impacted it with the senior team stuff. But Tamworth just on the caliber of how the Prem teams run.
I like Tamworth. I rate Tamworth. Leicester Falcons. They've got to have something about them as well. They've had a guy go from themselves, their academy system, to the NFL academy, to now playing. I think he's either playing high school or college football somewhere.
Yeah, it was. I think he was maybe the one that got the offer for Akron. Possibly, yeah. I think it was that guy. So yeah, they're producing good guys all the time as well. that division will be hard, but I think Tamworth will just be consistent.
I think it'll be Tamworth, and then I'm thinking you'll probably get Lions in there again. It's normally them too, realistically.
Yeah, and fair play to Birmingham because they've been doing that run to the Super Bowl, haven't they?
Well,
raising funds. So
yeah, it goes back again. Like you've got 3 teams: Tamworth, Birmingham Bulls, Birmingham Lions. Obviously, Birmingham Lions are sort of the mirror of Edinburgh Napier, formed out of a uni setup sort of thing. But the fact there's 3 teams in a city that people can pick from, it's if you combine them all, you would just have an insane powerhouse of youth football.
It's the same for us in Northeast. We're literally 15 minutes apart down the road.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where we are diluting the talent, but it's benefiting. If there was
more kids playing, though, right?
Benefit. Pardon?
There's more kids playing, so surely that's the best thing. Yeah. The more teams, actually, the better. I think that's why Manchester have done the 3, 4, 5 teams. However many they've got now.
And one thing I would like, is if there was a couple of youth teams. I'd like there to be one junior team because of that 16 plus drop off that you get in every sport.
Absolutely.
And then I would like there to be one adult team.
Yeah. I mean, for us, like in Edinburgh, we're really lucky. It's just us, hence why we've got 30 plus before the January. Like if you want to play football in the east coast of Scotland, you have to play for Edinburgh. Like Dunfermline have something over the water, which I really hope they get going because the more teams in Scotland, the better, because we're really lacking. But other than that, you've got Glasgow with 2, with them both being run by East Kilbride, and the next team's Highland.
You've actually got so my centre's cousin plays for you now.
Yeah, he does. George.
Yeah, he's messaged our page as well, mate. Don't worry. Tell him he's playing for you.
Yeah, he's playing for us.
So, do you guys want to cover the South, or do you not know much about it? We just leave it
out of the South. The teams are it's Kent Exiles, isn't it? Like
Holland.
they were just. If you have time, go watch the final against Highland last year. And Highland are an outstanding team, and Kent it was unbelievable what Kent pulled off. Some of the guys that they had playing for them in the backfield looked like grown men. Like you would put them in between senior teams, and you'd be like, "That's a starter for a senior team." It's like, nice 15. It was ridiculous. And they had about 30 guys on the sideline at the final, and every time you rotated, there was no drop off in size, speed, strength. Like
we played them first game, mate.
Yeah.
We played them first game there, and we had no film of them. Hadn't seen anything of them. We had asked if we could get some, couldn't get nothing, and we turned up, and I think we took 14 kids to finals.
Yep.
And there was like 35 of them.
Yeah,
they were just well coached, well drilled. It was one of the few where you'll see at this age group where you find your lineman at this age group because there's not many kids goes. You'll see it in Scotland. Realistically, you'll see where they've got their lineman in an actual stance.
Yep.
But as you get further down the country, it seems to not happen. But these guys at Kent, they had the hand in the dirt. They were coming flying out my centre. I mean, we didn't give up a sack all season until we got to Kent. Yeah.
I think other good teams to note there, just to shout out a couple of teams. Hertfordshire Cheetahs, really, really good. Yeah. Solent with Russ at the NFL Academy as well. They're only going to get better. Yeah. Russ is really, really good. What he does there. Up and coming ones, maybe not going to win now, but possibly good to look at. Poole Dolphins, just on where they are, and Salisbury City Marauders, I think, are also going to be outskirts ones. But then you've obviously got the key teams like Cobham are good. We played Cobham and lost by a point.
Unbelievable team.
Yeah, that one's Kent's to lose out of the whole of the South. They're really good.
The thing that I want to see happen is I want to see what's going to happen with. I'm gone. I'm sorry. Just to let you know, we've got a private chat, and I'm not repeating what's been said. But anyways, I want to see what the Warriors youth team goes like this year.
Yeah. Should we quickly do junior?
Yeah, let's do junior quickly.
I mean, Div 1, I think we spoke about it before the show. It's Blitz to lose, Manchester and EKP to chase, Tamworth on the outskirts, and then Kent on the outskirts in the south.
Yeah, and that's it.
That's it.
Then nothing else.
Junior football done.
Yeah.
That's Junior Div 1 done. Div 2. Depends who's in it.
Yeah. Div 2, it changes all the time. Obviously, you guys are in it.
Yeah, I mean, that whole Britball starting team we had is basically the core of my under-19s. 2 really good coaches. The OC for the youth last year has moved up to be the head coach of the under-19s. So he's really, really good. Yeah, like, just they're all really good across the board. I would really like to hope they would do well. Couple of one GB under-19 guy in there as a linebacker who's now at Heriot Watt playing, and then a couple of fringe guys who were invited just didn't get on board. So hopefully, but we'll see. But it depends who's there, eh?
I think if you had asked me, so if this was talking about the season that never was, the season that we missed, I would have said we would have won it. And that's how confident I was in my under-19s last year. It was the guys that had played a couple of years and they were ready. That was their top age group ready to go. And they've missed the bloody season thanks to COVID. So now it's back to our rebuild cycle and we start going back through again. So we got some good players. We've had a nice little transfer back to the team as well. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, I don't know about the South. Black County moved up. We'll just see who has all their Franken beans together when they play. And we'll just have to go from there. But no, I don't know much about the South Div 2. A lot of teams moved out.
Yeah, I mean, up to my knees in cowpat, mate. If I'm honest, I can't even think of any Div 2 teams. I think Trojans are going to be trying to start.
Up to my knees in cowpat.
That was the worst accent I've ever heard.
That's all you got to say it.
Div 2, I mean...
For daily.
What about Chris? Chris, can you think of any kids teams that you think are up and coming? Or do you just stick to like teams from like 55 years ago that used to be a team?
I have never had the fortune to be involved with youth or junior, and I would like to at some stage. And the other thing that I'd really like to be involved with, because I'm involved with rugby this side, but mixed ability. So near where I live, we've got a mixed ability side called so it's Bradford and Bingley, which is the Bradford and Bingley Bees, and the mixed ability is the Bumbles. So they go on tours, and it's great to get people who otherwise wouldn't be playing contact sport playing. So I'd love it if I'd be able to at one point be involved in setting that up and getting teams set up and a tournament set up in Britain for mixed ability. But as for youth and junior, I've never had the fortune of being involved in that. Hopefully I will be in the future.
Here's a question I'm going to ask all of you, right? Me and Sam spoke about this loads. I already know what his answer is going to be. Right. So youth football in this country, 5v5 contact. Okay. We're not talking about the one where you pull the belts off. We're not even going there. Right. So 5v5 contact. Should we set up within our division, so all the divisions that we just talked about, a team, so like a county team in that division to play 11v11 football against other teams, so other divisions?
I mean, I'll lead it. I think they should be moving up from, at that level, it should be more of a 7v7 side of things. And then at the next level, it should be 9 and more 11 side of it. I struggle to see, I've seen the 5v5 format. Other than they don't even really do that in flag, so I struggle to see how it's really beneficial. Like you said, if you get one decent offensive lineman and a decent running back, it's I think for me the 5v5 format isn't going to work on that, which is the personal opinion. I think that should be extended to 7v7 at the minimum. But yeah, definitely some sort of county so they can get ready for that 11v11 experience. Because then if you're looking for NFL Academy, Filton, the States, all these are the next steps for these kids now. So you need to get that footage on film. It can't be 5v5 because it's gonna. How can you send 5v5 footage to? If you send Hussein's footage over to someone in the States, he's going to look class because he's throwing to quicker guys in big open areas, and he can throw it further than any other kid. And he's got a tiny ball in his hand. I mean, that's to be 6 foot odd, and he's a big guy. He's going to look class, isn't he? So I'd like to see that kind of stuff on film. So I think it is needed for where they want to go. As we understand, it's no longer just GB; it's international. I think it's not only should be looked at is I think it's an absolute essential if we want more Brits playing abroad, which I'm assuming that we do to widen our game.
Well, what's the purpose of youth and junior? Is it to spread the reach of the sport and get people into it younger, or is it to make the adult game better?
It depends on the club. I think that's. Yeah. I know what our view is because we're not affiliated to any senior team formally. We just do it because we enjoy it. But there's teams down there that will have started a youth team and a junior team to feed their senior team, and if you do it for that reasons, it's not going to work because the good.
I was going to say.
What's BAFA's mission statement for it then? Like, why is BAFA putting resources into youth and junior? Is it to increase the reach of the sport so more people are playing the sport, or is it to
get people involved at a younger age? But I think one of the things I didn't know much about youth football until obviously talking shitloads with Adam about it, and we've had some youth shows and stuff in the past. One of the things that jumped out to me, and you're probably surprised to you, Chris, is they don't really care too much for Great Britain. That's not the goal for these guys as such as players. All it is getting tape, decent enough tape, and getting it stateside, getting it to Pride, getting it to the NFL Academy, and getting these guys generally out of amateur sport and letting them know they can have a career out of it. They can get the university fees paid for. The more and more I've learned about it, the more and more I've promoted my little boy to get involved.
If I can get some kid from the streets of Newcastle and Gateshead that's not doing anything, he's just messed about on the street, going out, maybe having a little drink with his mates or something like that at 16-year-old. If I can get them focused onto a sport where they're not going to do that and they've got a chance to go and get an education paid for, like, oh, mate, you've played rugby for 5 years or something, you do realise those skills you can use into this.
Yeah,
but
and
then you also say to them, all right, now you're really good at this, but because you've messed around, we need to get your education back on plan. Otherwise, you're not even going to get a chance to go to college.
Yeah.
Also, are you telling us if I stick in, coach, I've got a better chance? Well, of course you have. If you stick in and you've got the education and you've got the football ability, that's a better chance. So then you've got kids getting their education better. And even if it doesn't work, if it doesn't come up, they get better grades over here and they've got something to fall back on.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It makes...
Well, that makes a lot more sense because, like, speaking from my experiences, 2008, I think I was like the first person from Loughborough, from the Loughborough Aces. Me and Sam Thompson were called up to the GB Lions, the senior team, and I was 21 at that point, and I was like, Jesus Christ, I'm being recognised. Where can I go from here? Well, that's the ceiling. Like, I've played semi-pro, in other countries and all that sort of thing. So that's the ceiling. GB, semi-pro. But what you're talking about, those younger kids, that's not the ceiling for them.
Ceiling's the NFL.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So to answer the question then, well, how do we help them get there? Showcasing them in 11 competitions that they're doing training for is going to help them get there. So to me, that for that reason alone, it's like, well, if we're trying to get some of this British talent to play in the NFL, which is going to do more for the sport than anything, by the way, because it's a story of get your kids playing this, they can play in the NFL, buy your mum a house or whatever, then we should be doing it. And like, if you're playing offensive line, if you are a freak with hands the size of dinner plates, then 6'8" or whatever, then yeah, if you are a young lad, then this is how you do it.
Best. From my understanding, no, they're the best shots at the minute as well. It's no secret that if you want to play at any level over there, really, it's as a lineman. Because look at James Faminu, for example, who's over there at the minute from the youth setup over here. He's just a freak. He's got size. FA, he's just a freak. He's got size. Fingers crossed for FA. He gets his contract this year. His contract's up for the Panthers, so hopefully he gets a new one and he can buy that house kind of situation. But I think for us, the next step from British American football is get that skilled player out there and playing at that level. I think probably the best option, maybe Adam, is your old quarterback, Justin.
He's just won the Elite 11 in Chicago, so I think so.
I think Jason's got something to say on the topic. Young players need to go to places where they're going to be coached well.
Yeah. That's true. And that's why there's no coincidence why some of the bigger, better teams in the country have the bigger and better setups. Obviously, there is some anomalies across there, Highland, for example, but it's where they can get the good coaching and skill. And, all they need more often than not is someone who's dedicated and passionate to it.
Well, I was going to say that, yeah.
I was going to say, because Adam and Sam have both got successful programs because they care enough to go and do it. And that's as simple as that, really. Like, Adam's created, he'll be modest about it, but he's created a phenomenal team, because what you won't see with Adam is he'll ring me 2 or 3 times a week and he'll be giving one-on-one training with a kid who, is trying to get to the next level, or he'll be emailing people from the States to get one of his quarterbacks to go over there. So that's all it takes as well. But that's how important it is. If you can see the importance of value in that, then we can get our game to the next level.
I'll just put it out there, the one-on-one sessions, the parents are there, okay? Just putting it out there.
I think what people need to understand as well is that you don't need baller players to coach youth and junior. Like, I am not a formerly good player. It was just, I really enjoyed the sport. And the coaches I have, none of them are GB All-Stars with massive resumes that run it, but they give a shit, frankly. And, and it's what actually gets the kids through. And it shows with the guys that we've kind of got through, under 16. We've had a guy that's just come back from the States. He was a former Edinburgh Wolves player before the Wolves team folded, and then he came over to us, and he's just come back now, and he was playing out in West Virginia, I believe, in a high school. He was phenomenal. 2 linebackers I've got, GB want to go over. My running back wants to go over to the States. But they've not been coached by these all-American, all-UK Britball coaches. They're coached by myself, who's a 25-year-old guy who's got uniball and some senior ball experience, and everyone else underneath me is the same. My oldest coach is 27, and it's senior ball and uniball, and Div 2 North Scotland uniball at that. So it's not it's not the Premier.
Yeah.
If you get these 15, 16-year-olds exposure of playing 11 on 11, you can get film there, and then you can get them into the high schools where they can, as Jason says, get the opportunity to be coached well, and then it's, at 15, it's not too late. At 18, 19, you're not going to make it. It's like you can. That's the cut off.
Well, this is the thing, though, isn't it? It's get the 16-year-olds finish school, and instead of and maybe get them to college, so the Filton Pride kind of college setup, and then they've still got 2 years of eligibility left when they go over there, haven't they?
Yeah.
I mean, the one thing I will say is kids get put off by going over to America. They're like, oh, we get to finish school at 16. They have to do it when they're 18. They've only got so long to make it afterwards. But what they don't understand is you can actually repeat a year over there. So when Wilkin goes over, he's going to finish year 11 here, but he's going to repeat a year over there, so he gets 3 years of high school instead of 2, which doesn't affect anything further down the line. But it just means he gets to bed into an 11-a-side football program. The coaches get to work with him, and they get to move forward from there. I'll tell you what I would do if I was a coach and you're just setting up a youth program is when you get parents that are a bit funny about bringing kids down, they're like, oh, but I've got to do this. Mention the stuff about the school and how much you talk about how they need the schoolwork and things, because parents will be a lot more willing to bring the kid down to an early Sunday morning or an early Saturday coaching session if they think it's going to benefit the schoolwork as well as just what they're doing on a weekend. But I am going to end it there because I know I can see all the other guys kicking off in the private chat. So
probably our longest one. No, thanks everyone for sticking with us. Good chat about youth and junior. We probably did too much in one podcast there. We probably should have done separated it, but it was great because of the guest we had on. Sam, absolutely unbelievable insight there for youth and junior representing Scotland. James, fantastic for helping us with the South and the Midlands stuff and all the Green Iron Hub related up to the date news that you brought for us. Chris, thanks for your lowdown of every single team. And I'm hoping there's another team to add to that this year, Chris.
Thanks for making my wish come true, guys.
You're welcome. Any other number one fans on there? Jason seems to be commenting a lot. Jason, you're always welcome on the show. We can make your wish come true again.
Can I make? I'm not on with Jason, please, because it will just turn into him ripping the piss out of me. We're
going to end the show by showing some of my players' highlights. So
But one of the things, obviously, just we'll let you guys go. So thanks very much for joining us. And you're always welcome on the show. And if you can tune in next week or share the stream next week, because we're on for 24 hours straight, so you'll keep us sane.
I'll talk as much as I want, then, Honor.
I know. I'll give a plug for Chris. He runs a really successful streaming called Tuesday Games. So if you're into gaming community and you like Chris's face and you want to watch his face play for video games, tune in. Pretty much every Tuesday, but it's on all the time. But go and check it along.
Are you going to come and play with us next week?
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
We're going to play Among Us, mind.
Yeah. I'm playing Among Us on Saturday if you guys want to go. But yeah, it's on Facebook, Tuesday Games.
Yeah,
it's great if you guys come in on a Monday after the NFL's on, because my Monday stream, I'm just like recapping the NFL and talking about it. Also, Saturdays and Sundays before the NFL starts, I talk about like what's happening. So there's good football content. It's more conversation than actual video games. So it'd be great to have you guys popping up and chat. And yes, we will definitely collab and get some Among Us played for your charity stream. Sure.
Mike is absolutely crap at video games, by the way.
I know. We can play a bit of Madden, but that's it. Right, guys. Thanks very much for joining us, and we'll see you soon. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cheers. Bye. Oh, what are you doing? Get on the other side.
Well, put us on the other
well,
side.
I'm on deck.
I know. I hate when you do that.
No, good show, mate. Thanks everyone for watching. It's been absolutely amazing. Great. Thanks for everyone for commenting. We always love the comments. It's our favourite bit about it, believe it or not. Every time you watch, if you want to just comment along and add a little 2 pennies, then we really appreciate that, because it actually makes it a bit more fun and engaging for us. But again, if you can next week, we'll be posting all the stuff on. We got some good guests on. We're still waiting for some more to confirm. Some good names in Britball. So we're hoping, fingers crossed, they'll join. Everyone will join us, and we'll have a good Christmas.
If anyone's available between the hours of midnight and 6 a.m, come
and join us. If you want to play Madden, we will literally need help there. If you're in America as well, we would.
Yeah, if you're in the US, come on. We've got loads of stuff we can get you to do.
And then I don't know what's going to happen Wednesday day. We might be an absolute mess at that point, but hopefully we'll try and crescendo at the end. I think that's a word.
Should we get a little tally on the side of how many takeaways we eat within a 24-hour period? I'm not cooking. I'm just going to order Uber Eats everything in.
Yeah.
Uber Eats or Just Eat, if you want to sponsor the stream next week, it's worth a show.
We will probably get 600 views next week because no one will want to watch us. But no, thanks everyone for joining us tonight. We hope it was a good show. Our predictions, again, always with these things, it ain't personal, it's Britball.
Thanks, guys.